woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to episode 1011 of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small dick energy. It is Friday, September 15th of 2023. It is good to have you guys in today. We are megacasting live to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and of course in crystal clear high-resolution 4K to the Sharpe Stream, the one and only independent streaming platform built by the lovely and talented Devin, built for the TSR family. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. Guys, make sure you follow me. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, IG, at Donovan Sharpe TSR, on Facebook at Donovan Sharpe, as well as Twitter. I'm pretty sure it's at Donovan Sharpe HTR. Don't quote me on that. I haven't signed in like 3 months. If you want to get your hands on my 3 free ebooks, ebook number 1, 16 Ways to Immediately Disqualify Her for a Long-Term Relationship. Ebook number 2, and the best of the 3, Dead Bedroom, The Cure for a Sexless Relationship. And ebook number 3, 14 questions she'll ask you on the first date and how to correctly respond. Head over to tsracademy.com, plug in your very best email, and those three books packed with rock-solid, life-changing information are yours absolutely free. Again, that is tsracademy.com to get your hands on these 3 glorious ebooks. Plenty of ways to support the show. You can Super Chat, Cash App, or PayPal. Every dollar matters, every dollar counts, and every dollar is appreciated. In-person tickets for the See Me are completely sold out, and we are not recording, nor are we distributing the speeches for public consumption. This means that the only people who will be able to watch the event are standard and VIP ticket holders. But don't fret, you can still watch everything go down live when you buy a CME 3 virtual ticket. At a fraction of the price, you will see and hear all of the speeches and other events live from anywhere in the world. Plus, you can interact with fellow virtual ticket holders and get your questions answered by the speakers themselves. Go to masculineexcellence.com now to get your virtual ticket for the 3rd Annual Conference of Masculine Excellence going down in Miami, Florida, between October 13th and October 15th. Of course, the lovely and talented Devin and I will be tying the knot. We're going to be tying the knot on October the 12th. The who's who are going to be there. Very, 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 very much looking forward to what's going on. Okay, let's not waste any time. I've wasted enough of yours. I do apologize for being late. Ran over on my dating show breakdowns, which, by the way, they're really, really getting good. Just go to rumble.com/Donovan Sharpe. You guys can watch them all live for free. If you want access to them, become a Sharpe Stream member or a patron. And as the lovely and talented Devin in the chat says, the event portal is now open. You guys can now register, talk amongst each other. We're going to be putting on suggestions in terms of the surrounding, the venues, where to eat, where to stay, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so it looks like all of the Colorado players have on Coach Prime's sunglasses. Love that. 305 Rider says, home of the myth, the legend, Miami J. Love it. Oh, wait a minute. I almost hit that wrong button. Yep, Miami J, of course, is in the house. Miami J and Jay Blaze will be joining me for tomorrow's Sharpe Sports broadcast. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about the Eagles game yesterday. We're going to talk about college football. Translation, we're going to talk about Coach Prime and what the Colorado State coach said about Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and all the rest of that. The phenomenon. We're going to talk about all of the upcoming NFL games as well as some of the college football games. So that will be a lot of fun. It's going to be Miami J and Jay Blaze on the panel with me for Sharpe Sports tomorrow. And again, we will be opening up the phone lines for that as well. Okay, let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. Look, man, Candace Owens made an appearance on the Whatever podcast. There's no need to do a preamble on this one. Let's get right into it. Let's go. Oops. Yeah, it would help if the volume was up, huh? There we go.
We really...
Oh, wait a minute.
It's been a labor of love, so I'm super excited to bring it to everybody and to change people's minds about what they thought they originally knew about the case. So, yeah.
And you went boots on the ground in, was it Manitowoc County?
I went to Stephen Avery's
The junkyard.
The junkyard, yep. And yeah, I like to get my hands dirty in terms of really understanding what's going on and talking to people in the town and seeing how they're impacted. Because for us, we scroll through our cell phones aimlessly and we comment on these cases, but real lives are impacted when something goes viral, and especially when something goes viral and produces the wrong answer, lives can be destroyed. And in this particular circumstance, you have a man and his nephew that are in prison, and they get love letters, and they've got fiancés and adoring fans and people writing songs about them. And that's all because Netflix was able to produce a docuseries, and people believe that everything they watch is real.
Wow.
So I'm really interested in dissecting the deceptive media narrative in
Who's the girl with the
different circumstances. Just what they're feeding people, what people think is the norm, what people think.
We got sugar tits there in the
bring
middle.
them happiness, what people think is true, and so that's kind of been my.
Oh, there's actually a
shtick, so to
real
speak, for the
person.
last 10
Yeah,
years.
I remember seeing Making a Murderer.
There's actually a real person sitting in that seat now. Not really sure what's up with the headgear, but
My understanding is your documentary is saying, nah, he did that shit. Is that about...
And that's the most eloquent way to put it.
I mean, there's obviously,
Yeah.
you would go into some details, and you've reanalyzed the court footage and the documents. And,
oh yeah. Dude, she's got her tits all out. You can almost see her nipples.
Showing people what they didn't want you to see, essentially. Because when people decide on a narrative, the media gets fully behind it. It's a full court effort. It's supported by the usual pundits and suspects. Alec Baldwin got behind the Stephen Avery innocent train. Nobody thought about the woman who actually was killed and murdered. Trevor Noah got behind it. I kind of...
Oh, this was Making a Murderer. I remember that. Yeah. I remember that. The Stephen, the Stephen Avery thing. I think that was Making a Murderer. Okay, I'll have to watch that.
Say anything that goes from Netflix to Alec Baldwin to Trevor Noah, you should immediately have your radar up and just go, am I hearing the truth or am I listening to propaganda? And I'm fascinated by the impact of propaganda. I've been
By the way, Jalen Hurts was on the cover of Time magazine recently.
impacted
Shout
by
out to him.
propaganda. I'm obviously a person that started
And we got the W last night.
with liberal
Fuck what y'all heard.
tendencies. I think everyone knows that part of my story. I was left-leaning, so to speak, and now I'm super conservative. So it's right on par with everything that I do and everything that I've learned in my life about, not just accepting what the media is trying to spoon-feed you.
What?
It's interesting. I started out as a left-leaning person myself. When I was in college, I bought into all of the nonsense, voted for Bill Clinton. But, when you get a little bit older and start making a little bit of money, your views begin to change. Your views begin to change for certain.
One question, and I don't know if you want to save some of this for what's in the actual documentary, but what would you say is like the most egregious thing?
So this girl has a shirt on that says "Made in Hell." Wow. It's like girls are embracing their debauchery now. It's crazy.
Making a Murderer did that. They just either
That's
something
what it was,
deceptive or
Making
something that
a
was omitted.
Murderer, yeah.
There's one thing that was just the biggest smoking gun. Or
Yeah, well, I think I can definitely tell you this because this will be within the next 24 hours. People will be able to see this. But just skipping over who he was before he
All right, I don't care about any of this.
situationship, friends with benefits, relationship.
There we go.
Nice, cool. Well,
There's something about the fact that Matt's a cat, and he always kind of gives you the impression that he doesn't want to be there, and he just has to kind of lecture us all. Like he's like the classic dad.
Right,
But I just find him to be so funny, even when he's not trying to be funny.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Well, we'll go around the table once more. So, what is everybody's?
It's funny, even though I have this playing at 1.5 times speed, Candace still sounds like she talks that fast.
Current relationship status. So, are you single? Are you in the talking stage? Situationship, friends with
Oh,
benefits,
God, here we go.
relationship, married, polycule. Are you whatever maybe? So
What?
if you're single, how long have you been single? And what's your longest relationship? Starting with you. Go ahead.
I'm in a relationship. I have been for about 1.5 years, and my longest relationship is 2 years.
Okay.
How old are you?
I am single, and my longest relationship was probably about 4 years.
How long have you been single?
I've been single for about, I want to say a year now.
There it is. Single for a year now. I like how Brian asks them how long they've been single. Because when they tell us how long they've been single, they also tell us inadvertently how long they've been riding the Hot Dog Express.
Okay.
I'm single. My longest relationship was like around 3 to 4 years, and I've been single since like February, around there.
Okay.
3 to 4 years. Been single since February.
Single. I've been single for 6 years almost now. So.
Unbelievable. Single for 6 years. Dude, this beautiful, blonde, doughy-eyed smoke show has been single for 6 years. And she has a chest tattoo. What do you think her body count might be?
Over 9,000!
Yeah, I agree, Vegeta.
So.
Since you're pretty much 18, you've been single?
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Wow.
Do you have like a...
Wow. Single. She has not been in a relationship since she became an adult.
high school boyfriend or anything like that? Or
Yeah, I think I dated 2 guys in high school, but it was very
at the
brief.
same time?
No,
Oh, separately.
definitely
Okay.
not.
Okay.
The translation, she said, I dated 2 guys in high school. Translated, she... 2 two guys in high school.
Gotcha. What about you?
So I just got out of a relationship of 6 months with a federal agent, and I am single, ready to mingle.
Federal agents?
Yeah.
CIA? FBI? Coast Guard?
Oh,
Oh, wait, that's not it. Never mind.
federal agent down in Texas.
This woman is absolutely hideous. Guys, boys and girls, this is plastic surgery. This is plastic surgery run amok. This is plastic surgery run amok. Now, listen, I will give props to her breast implant doctor. Looks like she had a pretty good doctor there. So her boobs look great, but her face, she's going to be one of these older women who gets so much plastic surgery, she's going to look like a cat. You ever seen those older women who have so much plastic surgery that they end up looking like a cat? Devin says she's busted. Yeah, dude, she is absolutely busted. Yep, Suffolk's Finest on the Rumble side says that chick with the chest tattoo could have married a millionaire. That lady looks like a spicy movie star.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Got it. And what's your longest relationship you've ever had?
Oh, boy.
I would say 7 years.
7 years. Were you married or?
I was.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. All right.
Why'd the relationship end?
I'm currently single. My longest relationship was a little over a year, and I've been single for about 1 year.
I just started talking to somebody a couple weeks ago. I guess I'm single, and my longest relationship was about 3 years.
There you go. I just started talking to someone means I just started ing someone. REI 12 Figures, welcome to Chat Privileges. At REI 12 Figures to welcome him back to Chat Privileges. If you would, REI, put your age and location in the chat. As is customary of all of our first members, go ahead and put all of your age and locations. We're going to do a chat-wide age and location check. This is how we build communities of like-minded men. A lot of guys ask me, Donovan, how do I find men who think like me, who are RP aware, et cetera, et cetera? This is the way. This is the way. You find out somebody in the chat, might be in your city, might be in your neighborhood, might be on your block, might be in your building. So let's go ahead and do a chat-wide age and location check.
Wait.
And by the way, I will open up the chat. We're at 193 viewers. We've got 77 likes. If you guys can get me to 75% engagement, I will open up the chat.
Sorry, you just started talking to somebody, but you're...
I've been single since February 2022, and so it's really fresh.
Okay.
So I would still consider myself single.
It's early on. Okay. Candace.
It's really fresh. I still consider myself single. So she's given up the cheeks. She's given up the cheeks to some poor sap, but she reserves the right to give up the cheeks to other people.
I'm married. I'm married. Third child on the way. Third child will be here in 10 weeks.
Oh, you're pregnant right now?
Wow.
Very
Oh,
pregnant right now.
okay.
Yeah.
How
But it's good
far-
of you not to assume, right?
Yeah, I
You
don't
might
want
get in
to.
trouble
I don't
with
want.
it.
Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
get into any trouble.
Yeah.
You're how far along?
30 weeks.
30. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
God damn.
Thoughts on it? Is it a boy?
Thoughts
girl?
on whether it's a boy? No,
Well-
I have a biological
Well,
understanding that it's a boy.
Okay. No, I didn't mean it that
Let's
way.
keep the thoughts out of it. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
God.
definitively a boy. And I have one boy already at home who's 2, and I have a little girl that's 1.
Ah.
On the back. I've basically been pregnant for 3 years.
Good. So she's got an older brother to protect the younger sister. Perfect. And then if she has another boy, then that'll be the boy that gets bullied by the older brother. Got it.
My permanent state at the
Sure.
moment. Yeah.
Well, it's, I mean, it's
Congratulations.
yeah,
Thank you.
congrats,
Thank
and
you.
it's certainly impressive that you still you're working like crazy, and
Well, otherwise you'll just drive yourself crazy.
yeah, sweet. And how long have you been married for?
4 years.
4 years.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay. And you said earlier on that you used to be kind of left leaning or super left
Definitely
leaning.
left leaning.
Okay.
Yeah. Which
Like
I think
nose
is pretty.
ring, pink
No,
hair?
no, there's no old photos
No?
that are going to
Okay, okay,
surface
okay.
me.
Yeah,
with
she's
cat
stupid.
Screaming about aborting my children. I'm
Gotcha.
safe in that regard. But I mean, I would say I was definitely on the left, held liberal perspectives, which I think is actually really normal when you're young.
Yes.
I think when you're young, you kind of associate liberalism with freedom.
Yep.
And you're like, well, I mean, even the word sounds better to be a liberal than to be a conservative.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they have that quote that if you're not a liberal when you're young, you don't have a heart. If you're not a conservative when you're older, you don't have a brain. So it turns out I have a heart and I don't have a brain.
Ooh. Wow. If you're not a Jesus. If you're not a liberal when you're older, if you're not a liberal when you're old, if you're not a liberal when you're younger, you don't have a heart. If you're not a conservative when you're older, you don't have a brain. Iron Frame says she's still a feminist. No, she's not. Candace Owens is about as far away from being a feminist as they can be. Not all women are feminists, gentlemen.
So now I'm a conservative, and but I'm actually happy that I used to be a liberal because I think I understand why people gravitate toward it.
Sure.
And it helps me better able to communicate to people because I can understand where they're
Not only that, being a liberal, being left-leaning is just looked at as cooler,
at.
more hip.
Got it. And since I feel like politics is sort of related to dating because obviously
Absolutely.
I assume most people want to date and partner with someone who has shared values. So let's go around the table. What's everybody's politics? Would you consider yourself, let's say, liberal, moderate, conservative, apolitical?
I mean, I guess I would have.
I had to pause it there. Now, I haven't watched 1 second of this video. The reason I'm breaking this down is because you guys requested me to. But I'm willing to bet that most of these women say that they are apolitical or an independent.
Have liberal stances, or what people would call liberal stances. I don't like to call myself a liberal, but that would be where I guess
Progressive,
you would put me.
maybe?
Progressive would be a good word for
There
it.
we go.
I guess liberal.
Okay.
Jesus.
I consider myself a progressive.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Well, damn, all right.
I would say I'm an independent where it's like in between.
Okay, well, she'll color me wrong. Color me wrong. Dude, I'm 1 for 4.
But kind of more so leaning right, just based off of how I was raised.
What?
How were you raised?
Super conservative, super religious.
Okay.
There we go. There you go. That explains why. That explains why she's ridden the Hot Dog Express for 6 years and has a chest tattoo.
So maybe moderate politically. Maybe are there some things you're a bit more progressive on, other things you're a bit more
Yeah,
conservative on?
yeah.
Okay. What about you?
So when I started out in my early 20s, I can relate to Candace. I was a little bit more on the left. And then as time has gone on and I've worked real jobs and I've been out in the real world, I'm more to the right. I am independent and I don't like our two-party system. I think it's failed. But I would say I lean more to the right.
Okay.
I was raised very liberal, but I found myself becoming more conservative, especially over the past 3 years. But I wouldn't fully call myself a conservative yet. I would just say I'm still centrist.
Good place to be.
Okay.
Same. I used to be pretty liberal, but I am very, very conservative.
Wow.
Oh, you already answered. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. So I have a first question here. So I'm trying to hold on. I'm seeing where I want to start here. Actually, wait. We had one chat come in. I'll just read it while we have it. Goodest boy. Thank you for being on the show, Candace. But the world is effed. Can already tell from the panel that your views will not change their outlook. Never say never. Brian, you could be an amazing psyoper. Just saying. I've had a couple accusations that this show is a psyop
Oh my God.
by the CIA. Believe it or not. I've had.
Okay, guys. Maybe I'm stupid, but somebody and I'm intelligent when it comes to some things, but I have no idea what a psyop is. Could somebody please explain to me what a psyop is?
Had a couple.
You
So.
have any show, that is an accusation that you get.
Iron Frame says, look what she tried to do to Steven Crowder. She'll always align with the sisterhood. That does not make her a feminist.
Have you had?
Oh
has
my
any-
God, yeah. You can just fix.
Look, one action does not a feminist make, right? Like, it's almost like, for example, I like to garden. A lot of wannabes in this community would say that that's beta. Just because you have a beta trait or a blue pill stance on one thing, but you're 99%, you're like 99%, RP. You're still pretty RP aware. I'm not aware of the Steven Crowder situation. I'm not aware of the Steven Crowder situation, but I will look into that.
Candace Owens show is a psyop. By who though? Who is psyoping? Okay, I don't know. But goodest boy, thank you very much for that. And then we had a couple. We had this one.
7 Deadly Simps donated $200.
Nick, can you boost the audio a little?
Dear Candace, what are your thoughts on Proverbs 21:19? Better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife. Also,
yes, that's all right.
777 no million 777 octillion 777.
He's just kind of
Yeah.
he's kind of memeing because
777
the TTS voice will read anything.
Yes, the TTS voice will read everything. That's why he put that in there.
But so thank you, 7 Deadly Simps. It's almost. I think it's almost done.
777,777.
Welcome to the whatever podcast.
Like, dude, come on. Like, I hate when people do that. Like, guys, let's be grown-ups here. Let's be grown-ups.
So your thoughts on Proverbs 21:19?
I like that we just jumped right into the Bible. That's awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
I would say that, yeah, you should aspire to marry the right person. Definitely.
Okay.
Without question, you should aspire to marry the right person, and part of that is making sure that when you're dating somebody of value, and that also when you're looking for someone of value, you also take a second to measure yourself and see.
Drew Doran with the $5 super chat. Thank you. Thank you. He says, PSYOP is a psychological operation the government runs on people. Think mind control tactics. Feminism is an example of a PSYOP. Thank you. Dude, thank you very much for that. Look, man, I don't purport to be the smartest guy in the room, but just because you don't know a lot doesn't mean you're not smart. Let's put it that way.
If you are a person of value that's worthy of marrying, because I think people forget that part, and that's almost the most important part.
Got it. So recently, a video went pretty viral on the internet, and Candace, you actually tweeted about it. Something about shashuka. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So Nick, if you can pull the video, we're gonna just have the panel react to it, and then before you go full screen on that, so Matt Walsh.
Iron Frame says fresh and fit. Did an episode breaking it all down. Check that out, Don. I'll check it out. But Candace Owens is not a feminist. She's not. I think that's fairly clear. And anyone who says that she's a feminist is someone who just wants her to be. She's not.
Walsh posted it, and I saw this everywhere. I saw it yesterday. Her life doesn't revolve around her family and kids, so instead it revolves around TV shows and pop stars. Worst of all, she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is. And then Candace, quote, X'd it, quote, tweeted, I don't know anymore.
Wait, what?
Of value, you also take a second to measure yourself and see if you are a person of value that's worthy of marrying, because I think people forget that part, that's almost the most important part.
Got it. So recently, a video went pretty viral on the internet, and Candace, you actually tweeted about it. Something about shashuka. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So Nick, if you can pull the video, we're gonna just have the panel react to it, and then before you go full screen on that, so Matt Walsh posted it, and I saw this everywhere. I saw it yesterday. Her life doesn't revolve around her family and kids, so instead it revolves around TV shows and pop stars. Worst of all, she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is.
Ooh.
And then Candace, quote, X'd it, quote, tweeted, I don't know anymore. Quote, X'd it. This is what was future. Wait, this is what was. Okay, yeah. This is what future depression, Xanax, and wine combo nights alone looks like.
There it is.
Hey, the shashuka.
It's gonna be amazing.
There it is.
So let's play the video. Nick, if you can go full screen on it, and then we'll get the panel's reaction.
Xanax wine nights. It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15. Every time I thought, I should probably get up and do something. I thought, why? Nobody's making me. I'm not missing out on anything. I went to Beyonce last night, and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. And I danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up at 10 hungover this morning, which is probably why I was in bed for so long. And I was just scrolling on my phone, and I saw a picture of shakshuka, and I thought, no, it sounds really good. Maybe I'm gonna learn how to make shakshuka today, because I have no plans, and I don't have kids, and I don't have a husband, and I don't have errands to run. I can go to the grocery store and learn how to make shakshuka. That's on my agenda today. Also on my agenda, probably a rewatch of some Real Housewives of New York. I'm also doing a rewatch of Normal People on Hulu, which is really spicy and I highly recommend. Weirdly, I'm into this documentary on Netflix about blue zone countries, so I've got a pretty stacked day. Anyway, I say all this to say, whenever I'm hard on myself about why I'm not married and I don't have kids and I should be further along at 29, almost 30, I wouldn't want to do anything else this Saturday. I know that you can do all these things when you have kids and you're married, and I understand, but the effortlessness and ease of my life, just kind of focusing on myself and the shakshuka I want to make, or the Beyonce concert I want to go to, really pays off when I'm hard on myself for not being where society tells me I should.
Here we go.
I thought it was going to be really her going, shot, shot, shot.
So, why do you guys think that this video went kind of crazy viral, and what's the analysis here?
I mean, it went crazy viral because Matt Walsh tweeted it. Let's be real. That would have just gone into the ethosphere on TikTok, and no one would have talked about it had he not picked that up and tweeted it.
Well, was Matt? I don't know if Matt Walsh was the first
He
person.
was.
Oh, was he
Yeah.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I guess what's interesting to me is that this woman has actually even said, she gives herself a hard time. She wants to be married. She wants to have children. So I don't think that it's right to demonize her and act like she's going to have a depressing life when she just hasn't found the right person, because clearly she wants those things.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. No one's demonizing her. We're just telling her what her future most likely is. Look, man. Look. We don't like just because we point out the truth. Just because we point out the truth about the path someone's life is most likely to be on does not mean that we are demonizing them.
And she's trying to make herself feel better, and other people in that community feel better about not being that far along. Because like you said...
Yeah, that's called cope, sweetheart. That's called cope. I don't have any kids and I'm not married, but at least I can go to Beyonce, drink my little heart out, and make shashuka.
You wanted people to settle down with the right person, take their time, figure out if that's the right person. So just because she's 29, you're saying that it's too late for her and she's going to be doing Xanax and drinking wine at night because she hasn't reached that point yet?
I didn't say that. That's not what my tweet said.
You said the future.
Yeah,
right.
Because she's obviously a narcissist, right? So
why would you
first and foremost, let's not pretend this is one video that she made. It's her brand on TikTok. It's her brand on social media. She talks about these are this community known as dinks. We're happy and we're childless. She talks about how great it is.
Dinks, double income, no kids. Shout out to that. Shit. Hey man, look, I'm not gonna throw shade on the dinks community. I am 674% behind the dinks community. It is what it is.
To be childless. So she has developed she's a social media influencer that talks about childlessness. So let's not pretend this is one woman making a video who just said, oh, I had a great Saturday. There's absolutely no reason, if you had a great Saturday at 29 years old and you learned to make shashuka and you slept in at 11 until 11:15 or 10:15, whatever she said, that you need to bring up children. There's absolutely no reason. You just say, here's what I did today. I laid in all day. I did this. I did that. The fact that she has to correlate it to saying, and this somehow makes me better than people that have children, is the problem. She literally goes on to talk about not having children. It wasn't necessarily in this video. So it's not like people are just shaming single women on the internet. You could go on right now and talk about what you've done all day, and there's no reason to bring up, having a child or not. She's actually doing the shaming, and now we're trying to pretend that she's the victim. She's not. She has a brand where she talks about childlessness. She talks about leaning into childlessness and all the things that are amazing about not having children. Again, this is not the first video that she's produced. So the reason why, and if you're a man watching this, don't marry this woman. She's basically telling you she's selfish. selfish. She's telling me she's a narcissist.
Good.
Everything she says is about me, 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 me. Even if you're single, you don't have to make your whole day revolve around you. You don't have to. You can get up in the morning. You can go help others. You can do other things. You can say, now that I have free time as a single woman, I can go dedicate time to the church. I can sing. I can do this. I can help people find God. That particular woman that you just looked at is a selfish bitch, and men should not marry her. That's my personal opinion.
Oh, wow. Wow. But did she lie, though? Did she lie? She didn't lie. Now, look, I'm not a doctor, and I've never been a fan of people throwing around the word narcissist, right? I'm not a clinical psychologist. I couldn't tell you whether somebody's a narcissist. I think narcissist is an overused word. But clearly this woman is selfish. And being selfish is not feminine. Being selfish is masculine. When a woman is selfish and only thinks about herself, that is a masculine personality.
You wanted to come in really quick?
Yes, I wanted to answer your question real quick as to, you said why it went viral. I think it went viral because it's like, nowadays, it's relatable in our day and age. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's the sad part, sweetie.
22, 23 years old. I don't know how old this girl is, but like,
29.
29.
Whatever, but
I don't know how old this girl is, even though she said 29, 30.
in my day and age, like, it's relatable to be like, haha, we don't got kids. Like,
You're
quote unquote,
22.
fuck them kids. You know what I mean? It's like,
I'm glad you're admitting that.
It's like that.
I'm glad
Like,
you're admitting that.
It's like a term that people use, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just relatable.
honest.
Like, that's why it gets so many views, is what, to answer your question.
I think that's really honest of you to say that.
You wanted to come in? Go
Fuck
ahead.
them kids.
Yeah, no, I said
I'm
quote
just
unquote.
I was
That's
gonna-
what they say. you
Yeah,
know
but
what I
you're
mean?
admitting that so that she's starting the fight. You're looking
It's
at
a
people that are
trend
moms.
that are
Like,
trending.
I don't
It's a
when
trend.
I'm with my kids.
Right.
I don't post videos and say F them single chicks with no kids.
Right.
She did the
Ooh.
dating, okay, and we responded. That's it.
I don't know.
Like, it's the
The
first
Oh, dude, Candace is wow. I'm gonna tell you what. If I could be, and I might actually try to do this, I think I would be a much better orator and debater or discusser if I could take the brains and strategies of 3 people, actually 4 people, no, 3 people. I'd be the perfect debater if I could take Candace Owens, Michael Surtain, and Myron Gaines and meld them all together into Myron Surtain Owens or something like that. Because all 3 of them are extraordinarily brilliant and they're master communicators. They are masters at communicating what they're saying very quickly and very succinctly.
First thing I was gonna say.
Hold on, let's just let Essie go ahead. Go
The
ahead.
first thing I noticed about the video was that she was putting people with kids down. It'd be fine if she was just talking about how her day was and wording it differently, but it seemed like almost immediately from the beginning of the video that she was belittling people with kids, which I think is like the part of the problem.
Pixie, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think this is like up to interpretation because personally when I
This bitch, Pixie. Dude, this bitch is always on podcasts. Like, I've seen her on Fresh and Fit a bunch of times. I've seen her on Saucecast. Like, this bitch always makes the rounds, and she always says the same shit.
saw that video, my interpretation was like, oh, she's putting herself down because she's saying like, oh, you know, when I tell myself why am I not further along in life, you know, it's okay because at least I'm enjoying these things. So I could definitely see, like, depending on how you're looking at it or if you have further context, why you would think she's putting kids down. But when I saw that video by itself, I was thinking like people are kind of going a little bit overboard in the sense that she says she's being harsh on herself. She doesn't have children, and
Just because she says she's being harsh on herself doesn't mean she is. And what she's doing is what she's essentially doing is trying to cope and justify her happiness. Well, I don't have any kids and I know I would want that, but at least I can make shashuka.
these are just the things that have made her happy today. And I don't think that by itself, without additional context, is inherently wrong.
Yes, but there is context to it, sweet cheeks. The context is that this is her whole brand. I am single and childless, and I am happy. And we all know that's cap and cope.
Anybody? Tara, did I say it right this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the background of what other types of content.
God,
and
this
messaging
girl's
she puts
beautiful,
out, but just from
too.
that video alone, I don't think to me, I never got the impression she was shaming people that did. The women that were married to kids, it felt like she felt bad that she wasn't already there and she was just trying to be optimistic about it. And so I think it sounded more
Yeah, that's called cope.
like her content was about making women who are childless and not married yet and are approaching the end of their reproductive years to like look on the bright side. But I really, all my friends know I'm like so eager and ready for like marriage and kids. But I really honestly.
Holy shit. Wow. Are we really like is this community really starting to make a difference? Is this community really starting to make a difference? Like, this woman is young and beautiful and she just admitted to being eager to getting married and having kids along with her friends. All right.
You just didn't get that impression from that video alone that she was in any way.
So when she was talking about, I got to go to a Beyonce concert and I didn't have to pay for a babysitter. You don't think that was
no,
selfish?
Yes, that's shaming.
Selfish of her to say that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
but-
being selfish,
and she's
she was
saying
being
that.
rude. And if it was flipped and a conservative woman with children said the opposite of that to
Right.
single women,
It would blow
Yep.
up.
It would blow up.
There you
And they
go.
would say, how rude
Thank
of you.
you.
Why are you even mentioning single women? Just say you had a good day with your kids. That's
Yeah,
fine. If I
and
said
I
I
feel
woke
like
up, went to the
nowadays
park
it's
with my
like-
kids, did that. Okay, chill. Why are you correlating it to children? It doesn't make any sense. So, and like I said, she's produced more content so that the context is.
The Visionary has gifted 5 memberships. Edward Cross, RN 2888, Michael Espejo, and DJ O have all been gifted memberships. So thank you to the Visionary, if you would. Every one of you, the Visionary, Edward Cross, RN 2888, Michael Espejo, DJ O, and Mind Magic Studio. Put your age and location in the chat. Ken Rose with the $10 super chat. Ken, you need to start. You gotta, like, the floor is yours, man. Like, the floor is yours.
Is important. She's leaned into this as a brand and as an influencer. So, you know, then you're going to expect people that influence people to have families to respond.
Speaking of the penis, Candace.
Matt Walsh being among them, me being among them, and I would like to again warn men against marrying a woman who holds those sorts of
Thank you.
perspectives because she's ultimately just selfish. Like I said,
Perfect.
You can have a day and you can be single. You don't have to dedicate your whole day to me, narcissist, me. Here's what I did for me. It's just not a woman that you want to marry. Full stop. For leaving the kids totally separate from it. I wouldn't marry a woman like that.
Go ahead.
And all I'm saying is like it's sad, but it's crazy that like it's a trend. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're getting so many views on TikTok or Instagram or whatever they're posting these things on. It's like it's a trend. And
No, it's not a well. She's just pointing out the obvious. The reason why these things go viral is because more women can identify with that lifestyle than Candace Owens' lifestyle.
yeah, you know, it's crazy.
Just a show of hands. Who here wants to have kids one day?
More, yeah. It's my third, but.
Okay, so Miss Liberal wants to have kids. Young and Hot wants to have kids. Yeah, look, the retired mattress actress can't have kids. That's probably why she doesn't want them. Hashtag necessity a virtue. Hashtag roll to Muzzy.
Besides Candace, does anyone here have kids? You got kids? How many?
Oh,
I
cool.
have a son. He's 21.
Okay, gotcha.
He's
Gotcha.
perfect, and I'm good.
Okay.
But
got
one
it.
thing I noticed, a trend, like I agree that it's a trend, and she's doing that to brand herself and go viral and get a lot of attention and maybe monetize that. When I talk with other girls and they're younger, and I'll say, "Are you married? Are you planning on having children?" Sometimes that's a hot button for them, and it's maybe perhaps these kind of trends are like it's a rebellious thing because sometimes it's expected for people to get married out of the gate and have children and that kind of traditional lifestyle.
Okay, I can tell this woman is in really good shape. I can tell she's in really good shape because you can almost see the upper part of her rib cage, and she's got veins in her tits. So yeah, she I don't know, she looks like one of these older women. She looks like one of these older women who got a massive boob job and stays in really good shape.
If it's an expectation that
That's why God created doggy style, y'all.
parents have that they put on their children, and younger generations aren't having it, especially these days when it's so hard to, it's so expensive, people are having to work a lot, that's just one thing I've noticed. A little pushback on that question, even when I ask it. And I love children.
Gotcha. And I don't recall if you had a response to Candace or...
I mean, I was just going to say the opposite content does exist, and I would say that it's more prevalent, and usually there's more of it than there is the opposite.
Oh, that's crazy. No, that kind of content is not on. See, again, this is another case of a woman thinking that just because she says something means it's true. No, the opposite kind of content gets canceled, sweet cheeks. If you are conservative, if you're all about marriage and children and traditional values, that kind of stuff gets canceled. RP stuff gets canceled. What is she talking about? What is she talking about? There's no way. No. Now you're just, and again, what this woman is doing is just talking. She's just saying something to disagree with the argument. That's it.
And whatever community she wants to represent, I think that somebody that is single, and obviously, like I said, she closed out the video saying, I know that women that are married and have children can do all of these things as well, but this is what makes me feel better because I'm not that far along.
Yeah, that's called the disclaimer, sweetheart. That's called the disclaimer. She put that disclaimer in there so people like you would have the ammunition to defend her.
And I think if she's giving comfort and solace to women that want to be in that position and aren't quite there yet, whether you took it that way or not, I think that that's okay.
I don't think anything that she did in there was meant to be charitable. It was all about her. So, I mean, it's different interpretation.
Oh my God, yo, Candace stays dunking on these hoes. Wow.
I'm just happy that you were honest and admitted that it is becoming trendy to put down women.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but by the way, speaking to what you were saying about it being an act of rebellion, I used to be a feminist. If you had found me, you're 22, right? Found me at 22, I would have probably had the same perspectives as you about family. It is something different, and you will realize that when it's someone that's 29 years old and saying that, it's not the same intention. It's not I'm young, I'm free, I'm wild, I'm gonna live forever.
No.
What she's doing is something different. And also, just recently today, actually, Emily Ratajkowski came out with a quote about, I think getting divorced before you're 30 is chic. That's something else.
I remember that.
A woman at 22, a woman at 29 saying something that is appropriate when you're at 21 or 22, it's a little different. And she knew what she was doing. It was intentional.
Wow, I've never thought of it that way, but she's right. She's right. There's something insidious. There's something insidious about women who are either approaching or past the wall, telling everyone how happy they are that they are single and childless. And women who are young, look, every hot 20, 21-year-old is going to be like, dude, I'm so glad I don't have any kids and blah, 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 blah. And I got up in the morning, I went to Beyonce. That's fine. You're 20, 21 years old. You should be thinking about marriage. But hey, if you're 20, 21, girls just want to have fun. We get that. But what Candace is talking about, and I totally agree, is that when women come out with these videos and talk about how happy they are, even though they don't have a husband and kids, there's something insidious about that. There's something insidious about that. Misery, as the saying goes, loves company. And it's almost as though it's really, really weird. It's crazy how older women almost never want to genuinely help younger women. They just don't. They almost never want to genuinely help younger women. Older men always want to help younger men. It's like older men see themselves in younger men. Older women see themselves as younger women. And so they're like, okay, well, my life is fucked up. So now I have to sit here and I've got to act like I'm happy with my life. And maybe you are for now. But the fact that she is single and childless, that niggles in the back of her mind because that is in her DNA. It is in a woman's DNA to want a husband and kids and a family. And for this woman to be parading around like, yeah, hey, look, I'm 29, I'm single and childless, but you know what? You can be too. Because I went to Beyonce and I'm going to learn to make shashuka, blah, 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 blah. I agree. I've never thought of it that way, but Candace is right.
And like I said, if you look into her content, this is not some innocent woman that was posting just to boost herself up on the internet.
There you go.
She's trying to get clicks, she's trying to get views,
Yep.
and she got them.
There it is.
I want to come back a little bit now to people's relationship status. So, or not even so much relationship status, but perhaps it's related. So, both of you do courtship?
Sex work?
Courtship?
Courtesan. That's an old-fashioned historical term.
Okay.
Back in the day, courtesans were able to own property, whereas the Little Miss didn't have that ability. The way the laws were written back in the day of ancient years, like the wife was toddlerized. And then the courtesans were able to go and attend the meetings with the politicians and the business owners and actually state their case.
Yeah, that's why Rome fell in 250 years. That's why Rome fell. Listen, man, look. If you're a spicy worker, if you're a sex worker, great. If you want to buy property, great. That's fine. Thankfully, here in 2023, the world can sustain, escorts and sex workers owning land. But for them to be, for sex workers to be at the table during meetings and politicians, guys, this is the reason why Rome fell. That's ridiculous. Why on earth would you want a woman who sucks dick for money to have an opinion or a say on public policy? That's ridiculous.
Influential.
But, okay, so I'm just trying to
Why would they be influential? Seriously? You want harlots being influential? That's crazy. That's just like the girl that Candace is talking about. This woman is single and childless, and she is influential. That's crazy talk.
Differentiate here, because courtesan, when I think of it, I think of people who are in the court. Typically, there's a kingdom, there's a monarch, and there's, maybe some of them are dukes, maybe.
It's
or
from that
there's
era. But
viceroys. There's some viceroys in there. There's a couple of, I don't know some other terms. Lords, ladies. But, okay, so you guys work in Nevada, is that correct? What's the place that you guys work at?
There's different brothels. The Bunny Ranch, I've been at the Bunny Ranch. We've both been there. We both worked at the world famous Mustang.
Okay.
Those are more normal.
Oh, so you guys both don't work there, or you don't work there anymore. Do you still work at what is it called, the Bunny Ranch? Or?
So, we're independent contractors. So
you work at the Bunny Ranch. Call yourself whatever you want. You're a prostitute. So what they're talking about is, so the rest in peace to the late, great Dennis Hoff. There's the Moonlight Bunny Ranch that is located about 20 miles east of Carson City in Nye County. That is one of, I think, 2 or 3 counties where prostitution is legalized. That's what she's talking about. Roadblock85 with the $10 super chat says, not even Candace can save these hoes. They're too invested in this clout chasing content creation lifestyle. Exactly. See, as a content creator, see, this is the thing. And I don't think that you, I don't know. I don't want to put, I'm not trying to virtue signal here, because I don't think that this is the place to virtue signal. However, I think that if you are an influencer, it's almost like you have a responsibility to your audience. Now, maybe she feels like she has a responsibility to her audience. Unfortunately, she's leading her audience astray, right? No one has ever, guys, I get thousands of emails, letters, DMs, Donovan, you changed my life, thank you, blah, 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 blah. I've never had anyone call or email or text me and say, you know what, Donovan, I started watching you, my life got worse, right? I started watching you, my life got worse. I'm in worse shape, blah, 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 blah. No, I've never, ever had that before. I wonder what kinds of messages these women get.
Your time.
So like when we're on tour, we contract ourselves out, you know, with whomever.
Okay.
So that might change.
Sure. So a couple questions here. So I don't know, maybe it's changed throughout the course of your life, but
who is the chick in the back with the spiky helmet? Like, does anybody know who that is?
How many? Maybe you see men, maybe you see women. How many per day or per week? Do you call them clients? What do you call them? Tricks?
Clients,
What do you call
friends.
them?
No, not tricks.
Marks?
No.
No. Okay. I don't know. I don't know the terminology. I'm not.
Look, they're not. They're marks. They're only marks if you're on the outside. If you're a mark, you're getting a lot more. But yes.
I mean, some providers may, but they're not
Okay.
maybe the most respectful.
Okay.
I like to deem them friends as soon as I
Sure.
get to know them, and
Gotcha.
and we are like friends. Sometimes we're like married couples, but
Oh,
it
boy.
can be it depends anywhere from like 2 to 3 a day. That's a lot,
2 to 3 a
but
day,
maybe
okay.
5 a week.
Okay. What about you?
So anywhere between 2 to 3. Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Anywhere between 2 to 3.
Okay.
And sometimes 4 or 5, depending on.
Sure. Per day.
Yes.
Do you know what the most is in one day? Like, was there one day?
It always fluctuates.
Okay. Is there ever like a 10, a dozen?
I don't.
Yes.
Is that
I mean,
baker's
yeah, it
dozen?
can.
Okay.
Can happen.
Sure.
I don't personally. Do that.
When coming off the heels of Dennis Hoff's Cat House, there were I
What?
mean
Oh, Nick, hide.
What the?
okay, cool.
Okay, we're fine. Okay, all right, good. All right, welcome to the Whatever Podcast. Always something.
Oh,
where were we?
Okay, so let me just take some time to react to that. So these women are sex workers, and it's funny because Brian asked the younger one specifically, has there ever been like a 10 or a 12? She hesitated, but the older one was like, yep, she kept it real. Guys, look, man, shout out to sex workers, man. They provide a service, but gentlemen, like, this is crazy. Like, you're having sex with 2 to 3 men per day, sometimes more. Like, what does that do to a woman's? Oh God, to me that's just disgusting. To me, that's just unsanitary.
I was mentioning after Dennis Hoff did his famous show Cat House on HBO, he drummed up a ton of mainstream media. He got one of the girls on Oprah and whatnot. There were so many people coming in. Those were the days where maybe you'd be seeing like 10 clients, 12 clients in a day.
Okay,
And that was a lot.
Gotcha. And for
Holy
you two,
God.
as being involved in prostitution, has it had any impact when it comes to your romantic prospects?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got to be able to be myself and fully disclose, and I need that person to accept me for who I am. Bottom line.
I have had no issues being a legal prostitute. I've had no issues being a legal prostitute just because I haven't been dating anybody.
Yeah,
within
that's
this
why.
time for that year. As for everything else, it's hard dating.
Well, of course.
I've ran into a lot of insecure men. Typically, those are the ones that can't handle me doing what I do for work.
Insecure men. So because I can't handle the fact that you're having sex with 2 to 3 men per day for money, I'm insecure? No, he's not insecure. He's disgusted. The man is disgusted. This is cope. Gentlemen, do not let women shame you. Don't let women convince you that you are insecure because you don't want to date a woman who fucks for money. Okay? Do not let strippers, call girls, OnlyFans stars, mattress actresses, do not allow these bitches to shame you by calling you insecure for having a problem with what she does for a living. I don't have a problem with most people don't have a problem with what prostitutes do for a living, right? Most of them don't. It's just the ones that you date who have a problem with that.
And
Just a point of clarification. So
insecure.
You run into a lot of insecure men, and are they insecure because they don't want to date you because you are currently active as a prostitute?
No, I'm saying I've never dated a guy while I was working at the brothels, at the Bunny Ranch or
Good.
the Dancing Ranch.
Good.
But I've been dating guys like between me doing camming and dancing, so that's what I'm talking about.
But you mentioned insecure men. What specifically are they doing that makes them insecure? Is it because they're insecure about your work?
Here we
yes,
go.
Like I've had exes in the past that would cry about me going to work to dance at the strip club.
Okay.
I've had guys try to control like what I wear and say that I can't work at strip clubs or do OnlyFans or whatever.
Sorry.
And see, her exes made a mistake. Her exes made a mistake. You cannot tell a woman what she can or cannot do. You can't tell a woman what she can or can't do. You can, however, influence her behavior by your reaction. If you start dating a girl and she says, oh, by the way, I'm a stripper, you end the relationship right then and there. You don't date the stripper, guys. Okay? You don't date the cam girl. You fuck them. That's it. They are recreational use only. They belong to the game, guys. Listen, man, it's a sad reality here in 2023 that most attractive women in the West are monetized in some way, shape, or form. Let me repeat that. Most attractive women are monetized to some degree, whether they're an Instagram model, OnlyFans girl, whatever the case may be. Most women who look like the girl in orange are monetized. You guys have to understand that.
Or was there more?
No, that's
okay. Is it because they're insecure, or is that just them having boundaries?
Ooh.
I feel like that's. I mean, you knew what I was doing before you met me, right? So all of them knew exactly what I was doing before they met me, which brings it to, yeah, if you have a problem with what I do before you meet me, maybe don't get involved with me.
Sure.
I'm very.
Thank you. Okay, that makes sense. I totally agree. Yeah. Guys, don't get involved with these hoes, y'all.
Open. I'm a very honest person. You knew what I was.
Dude, I cannot believe that this blonde chick has a chest tattoo. This girl is fucking gorgeous. She is fucking gorgeous. She could have pulled the wool over anybody's eyes. Ain't no millionaire gonna wife this chick up. Like, this girl, like, honestly, this girl, I'm gonna start calling them I'm gonna start calling these 6, 7, and 8 figure girls. Okay? As far as looks are concerned. We can go 1 through 10. Every once in a while, I think I'm gonna go to 6, 7, or 8 figure girls. In other words, girls that have the kinds of looks that could secure long-term a man who is worth 6, 7, or 8 figures. The blonde girl in the middle left of the screen sitting next to grandma, that's a 7-figure girl. Easy. But she messed it all up by getting those ill-advised tattoos.
Doing before you met me. If you don't like it, there's the door. Nobody's making you stay.
That's right.
Too, gentlemen love the idea of dating us, and then once we go to do it, then it's not really realistic.
Right. It's almost like fetish.
A fetish.
Like, you're right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's so hot. I have a girlfriend that does this, that, and the other, and then when they're really at home and I'm like on OnlyFans or on a call with a client or whatever, they're like, no, this is weird.
Jury Raven aptly corrects me. Says, no, Donovan. She doesn't have a chest tattoo. She has 3 chest tattoos. Yeah, that is correct.
It's weird. You know what I mean?
God, man.
And that
what a waste.
An insecurity, yes, because you knew where I was coming from. You knew what.
That's very true. That we can see. She probably, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Any chick that has visible tattoos, you know she's got some tattoos under her clothes.
What I was doing and you weren't okay with it, then you should have made.
Pixie, that's her name. Eben Zuer says Pixie is there again with her mundane arguments. Yeah, I pointed that out earlier. It's ridiculous. Like, Pixie's all over these podcasts just talking the same shit. Stupid.
Point that, I mean, if they knew going in that this is what you do for work, you're a stripper, or you're doing OnlyFans, or you're doing sex work, then I think it's a little bit of a stretch that all of a sudden, a couple weeks or months into a relationship, then they start changing up. But I think to differentiate the conversation a little bit, for example, like, let's say, and I don't know if you mentioned this, when it comes to like posting perhaps revealing photos online, not intended for commercial, like they're just on Instagram, they're not monetizing it, they're not.
Yeah, we call that attention whoring, Brian. We call that attention whoring. We call that advertising. Any woman who posts a sexy picture of herself on Instagram who's not monetized or who's not monetizing that picture, she's thirst trapping, like she's shopping.
Content creators, or like, for example, if they go to the bar, club, party a lot, would you consider it insecure if a guy maybe 3 months into a relationship. At that point, he started having issues with you or with another girl. Hey, he started saying, hey, I don't want you going to clubs and bars anymore.
And he already
knew?
You're saying he already knew this?
Well, like, I assume he knew. Yeah.
So, if he already knew, then...
Well, I guess my framing is, prior to dating, he had no problem with you or with another girl engaging in what he considered to be single behavior at the time. But once you or whoever it is started dating, he wanted his partner to act in a way that he thought was more consistent with being in a relationship.
Okay, so what Brian needs to do here is he needs to differentiate from single behavior and sex work. Because what Orange Girl Bad here is going to do is she's going to conflate what Brian is talking about are women who act single when they are single, but then when they get into a relationship, they continue to act single. Girls' nights out, texting with your ex, bikini pics on Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. But what Orange Girl Bad is going to do, she's going to try to conflate this with sex work, and the two are not the same.
So perhaps it's okay to go out to, me personally, even if I'm single, I'm not really interested in going to bars, clubs, and I don't post revealing photos online, but I don't know, I feel like that men don't do that too much. I mean, there's certainly men that post, like, whatever. Anyways.
Listen, when women thirst trap with their bodies and their looks, men thirst trap with their lifestyles.
But once you get into the relationship, there's expectations that certain things change.
Well, with the sex worker.
Well, yeah, I mean,
there it is.
Told you. Like posting revealing photos.
Told you.
Not for your work.
Told you.
Then yeah, like I can separate my work identity from my personal life.
Go ahead.
Can you?
I think, I mean, if we're talking somebody that's not a sex worker and is posting revealing photos, I think that that's something that you talk about before getting into a relationship with somebody, because then if you're talking, you know, and a guy is like, you know, my expectations for my girlfriend are XYZ. I don't like these kind of revealing photos for my girlfriend. I don't like her, like you going out all the time. And then I think from then on, that's when you decide whether to make a relationship serious or not, because if she doesn't want to
Bingo. Hey, look, man, fat girl is speaking facts. She's right. That's a conversation you have with a woman beforehand. And as Rolla Tomasi often says, you demonstrate, don't explicate, right? But you can only demonstrate if you wait for her to explicate that she wants to be in a relationship with you. And this is my number one rule when dealing with women. Do not campaign for a relationship first. Do not angle for a relationship first. Never ask a woman to be your girlfriend before she asks you to be her boyfriend.
Strict where she's going or what she's doing or the type of photo she's posting for him, then that's her decision. But I don't think that it's wrong for a partner to ask her, you know, hey, if we're in a relationship, this is what I expect. And then, you know, she makes the decision, yes, I will do those things, or no.
But do you think that so early on, like say on the first date or second date, that there's enough of a relationship established for a guy to have enough, I don't know if leverage is the right word, but like enough pull or influence to be like, hey, listen, I don't want you doing this anymore?
Absolutely. Nah, the first date that's just too, whoa, Brian's got to get better at this. He's got to get better at this. Dude, if you're on a first date or a meetup with a girl, like that is not the time to be talking about, by the way, if you want to be in a relationship with me, this is what needs to be done. The first date is just it's just too much. It's too much. It's too soon.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
But that's, I mean, she just said that you should early on, you should say,
not date number one. Date
not
number
date
one.
number one, not date number two.
Yeah.
Date number
Why?
three, four. Wait.
Okay.
I think there's two things going on here. I think you can date someone, and then as a relationship evolves and changes, some things that you thought you were comfortable with, you're like, hey, I'm not really comfortable with this anymore.
Yeah,
I think that's reasonable. I think that's very distinct than going into a relationship thinking, oh, I don't like the fact that she posts this types of photos. I'm gonna make her stop. You know, I'm gonna change her basically, because you're setting up, I think, everyone for disappointment. You're setting.
No, you're not. Mm-mm. If you're on a date with a girl and you're like, okay, she posts revealing pictures, just keep that in the back of your mind. Then when she angles for a relationship, let her know, all right, like, it's cool, we have a good time, but I just want to let you know, I don't commit to women who are on social media. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. CJ in the 562 says, Pixie is a wannabe Melina. Oh, I hope not. Oh, my God. Dude, Melina is not. Oh, Jesus Christ. Melina is not who you want to emulate. Oh my God.
Up yourself, her. There's a difference between going into something, having feelings change, talking from there, and intentionally trying to change before you even date, really.
I have a question. Yeah. If you ever fell in love with somebody, would you be willing to delete all of your stuff if they asked
you? Ooh.
Would I be?
Yes. If you, as a sex worker and everything that you do.
Wow. Did you hear that? Pixie already said no. Pixie answered the question before she even.
From there, and intentionally trying to change
Watch.
before you even date, really.
Watch.
I have a question. If you ever fell in love with somebody, would you be willing to delete all of your stuff if they asked you?
Would I be?
Yes. If you, as
See, there it is. She's like, no.
the sex worker and everything that you do. If you fell in love and you found someone and they asked you to stop. So with that being said, I am currently single because of what I do for work. I am very much so busy doing my work and full throttle, like wanting to make money and capitalize off of this industry to the best of my ability.
That's not the question. If you found a man who was worth giving up sex work for, would you give it up? But it's so funny how Orange Girl Bad is talking. She's talking as though she's going to have a litany of options of men who are going to want to take her away from this life of prostitution. Bitch, you is a prostitute. The kind of men you want are not going to want to take you out of prostitution, baby. It's just not how that works. So, yeah, listen, you can answer this hypothetical question, but you're never going to be in this situation.
And make it to the point where I can retire. And then it's like also making this much money and doing what I do for work, it puts me in a position to be able to meet the type of guys that I want to meet, right?
Oh, my God.
The higher end type of guys. And
Unbelievable. The higher end type of guys. Oh, no, baby. See, there it is. See, even sex workers are predatory. Even sex workers are predatory because sex workers know, specifically prostitutes, they know that the reason why a lot of these men go to the bunny ranch is because they can't get laid otherwise. And if they can't get laid, that means that they're not really good with women. So all this woman has to do really is find a mark. And that's exactly what Brian was talking about. He's like, what do you call them? Do you call them Johns? Do you call them Tricks? Do you call them Marks? No, they're not Marks. According to Orange Girl Bad, they are. Because if she happens to meet a man that she thinks she likes, who has the resources and the lifestyle that can take her out of it, all she's got to do is pretend to like the guy, and she's got him hook, line, and sinker. That, my friends, is the very definition of a mark.
And maybe later on down the line, not anytime yet, I would be open to it if I find everything happens for a reason. You know, you never say never, but like if I found Prince Charming or something one day and he didn't want me doing this anymore, or I wouldn't be doing this anyways. I want to retire from it at one point, and then eventually maybe.
And when you say high-end men, what do you mean by that?
Like,
like high-value men,
yes, high value.
Or men with a lot of money.
I like this girl. I like the girl sitting next to Candace because she just differentiated. She just differentiated between men with a lot of money and high-value men. Just because you have a lot of money does not mean you are high value. Just ask Logan Paul.
High value.
High value.
I have a question for you two here.
See, she said high value. No, she means a man with money.
So both of you do OnlyFans.
But what she doesn't understand is that high value men don't marry prostitutes. They don't. Logan Paul is not a high value man. He's not a high value man. The reason why we know he's not a high value man is because he is about to wife up the town bicycle. That's not, just because you have money does not mean you're a high value man. But Orange Girl Bad thinks that if you have money, then you must be high value. And I promise you, that's the first time she's ever thought about it in that context.
Having done OnlyFans, continuing to do OnlyFans, has it had any negative impacts on your dating prospects? Does it make it harder to date? Has it been maybe not an issue at all? Some guys like it.
I've never had an issue with it, dating-wise. No one has ever, because I'm very upfront too. You know, first date, if this is what I do, if you don't like it, this is how I make my money, unless you're going to pay me the same amount of money I'm making.
Sorry about that. That was late. That was a little bit late. I'm sorry. This woman has an OnlyFans? Chunky Monkey has an OnlyFans? This woman's not even attractive. How is this woman making money on OnlyFans? Like, dude, I'd clap grandma's cheeks before I clapped hers. Ay. Dude, men are down bad. Men are down bad. Dude, if you are paying to see this woman naked, you've already lost, my friend.
And then I'm not going to stop supporting myself. But yeah, I never really ran into issues. But again, I don't do full pornographic content or anything like that. So it probably is a little bit different for somebody on OnlyFans.
Oh, thank God. Okay, she doesn't do full pornographic content. Okay, all right, that's a little better.
That does do that type of content. But I personally have never ran into an issue. My boyfriend at first was, I told him and he was like, okay, well, if I'm going to date you, I have to be okay with this. And that was that. And it's never been an issue.
Sorry, I was asking a question. What kind of content do you do on OnlyFans?
Mainly topless content.
Okay,
So,
and you currently have a boyfriend?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Just, that's the extent of it?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Essie?
I've also...
Okay, so she shows her boobs on OnlyFans. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. You're not supposed to... dude, you're not supposed to... a woman's body is supposed to be for her man.
Never had an issue in my dating life. I don't date that often though, but
Right, because you've been single for 6 years.
Yeah.
But it might not necessarily be related to that you're not doing OnlyFans.
Yeah, I also don't do nudes on OnlyFans, so it's just like lingerie content.
Oh, okay.
So I think that also maybe helps because
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. Like the lingerie content on OnlyFans, like where do we draw the line, right? Where do we draw the line? Because some guys might think, well, you know, hey, if it's just lingerie content, then I'm good with it. As long as she's not being nude, as long as she's not getting smashed out, I'm good with that. But one prevalent theme among OnlyFans girls that they continuously talk about is that they're always having to up the ante, right? They're always having to up the ante. So, okay, sure, she does lingerie content now, but at some point, her fans are going to get a little bit bored of that. Then maybe she shows a little bit of nipple. Then maybe she shows her boobs. Then maybe she goes full nude. Eventually, they are going to get bored of that as well. And in order to keep making a living, you are going to have to start fucking on camera. So the answer is still no. I don't care who you are.
Question here for Candace.
The Level Up Man says there's always the incentive to escalate. Absolutely.
So, what are your thoughts on OnlyFans, sex work, and do you believe that a woman doing OnlyFans or porn might have an impact on her future romantic prospects?
Of course it would. Of course it does.
So how and why? I can repeat it. That was a lot.
I like the girl in the background with the hat on. She is fully hot. Probably because she hasn't said anything.
So let me know if you need me to repeat
anything. I talk about this extensively on my show. I mean, the truth is that if you are going to engage in sex work, you are going to probably make a lot of money, especially if you're young. You're on a very tight rope as you get older. Your value goes down, and men are going to want women that are younger and available to them. I'm talking about in terms of just making the person who will subscribe to your OnlyFans page. You know, obviously, women, you're declining as you age. And the truth is that high-value men don't want to date women that are sex workers or even women that aren't sex workers and lean into the whole talking about how sexy and are freely available on the internet for other men to see. What we're talking about is biological proclivity.
Thank you.
What men are doing when they first say, this sounds amazing, to date a stripper or date a prostitute or date a sex worker, is there's this instinct to have sex. It's going to be amazing to have sex all the time. But then when they realize that actually a form of wanting to be in a relationship is feeling that there's a mystery to a woman, that there's something that's yours, there's something that's sacred, there's something that's powerful and beautiful that just you share, and when they realize they have to share that with other men, it vanishes the man. A recent cultural example of that, obviously, is what's happening with Nina Agdal. She's not a sex worker by any means. She just kind of said some sexy things on the internet about wanting cock, and what...
Was not expecting that from Candace.
I'm quoting her directly, so this is purely academic. Purely academic, and look at what happens. You know, now Logan has become the laughing stock of other men as they piece together everything that she's ever said that's overtly sexual. And again, she's not a sex worker, but what happened is her value just completely plummeted because they're this thing that men need to feel. And I don't want to say possession in a way that sounds bad because it's not bad. It's actually really beautiful, and I'm lucky and fortunate that I get to experience that in my marriage. You know, and it's something that
she said possession and not in a bad way. Women want to be owned, y'all. Women want to belong to men. They do. They don't care. They do not care. I'm glad Candace said that. Oh my God, he doesn't own you. Nya, 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 nya. Just because he doesn't own you doesn't mean you don't belong to him.
That women should strive toward. Women that make those exchanges in their youth, I think that's...
Dre Raven says, not gonna lie, the hat does something for me. I'll ask her to keep that on. I mean, I suppose you could grab, if she's giving you a, you know what, I suppose you could, grab the spike and kind of, I don't know how that would work.
And I do feel bad for Nina Agdal is because she said a lot of those statements when she was really young. She's probably your age. And she had a camera and she said it and it lives forever. And now every man that she dates is going to say Dylan Danis has made her available to everyone. And I hope things work out between her and Logan, but if you don't think that that's going to impact Logan or that's not actively impacting him as a man,
you're stupid.
So with women, it's a trade-off. First thing you said was, I make money. This is about money. It's about money, but when it comes down to marrying these women, men just don't want it.
And that's exactly why I said that in this industry, I'm single until I retire. I don't.
Yes, but baby, see, she thinks that being single until she retires means that it's not going to impact her. It absolutely is going to impact you. Just because you don't, and look, good for her for not dating while she's working. That's, at least she's responsible enough to do that, right? I mean, listen, just because sex work is legal doesn't mean you're acting responsibly with your body, right? Like having sex with 2 to 3 different men every day for money is not only sexually irresponsible, but that is irresponsible health-wise, right? So listen, good for her for not dating while she's working, but that doesn't mean you're not still impacted by that. And that does not dating while you're working does not make you immune to the price that you will eventually pay from being a prostitute.
But it will still matter.
I don't plan on doing this
See?
or getting married or finding the love
Here
of
we
my
go.
life until I retire.
There it is.
truthfully.
And
then
I
after
hope that
that,
you see what happened to the Agdal.
no, and
because-
then after that, I will be honest and truthful with the person that I will be getting married to or whatever, and it'll be up to him to accept that, right? So,
And I'm
that would
just
be
saying that
his
men's
decision.
natural proclivity is to not accept that because it brings them shame.
Thank you.
Men are biologically
Okay,
proud
I
creatures.
understand, but
And
not
to
No. Orange Girl Bad is wrong. Candace is right, dude. Candace is right. Dude, you're on a podcast with 4 million subscribers. Man, 4 million subscribers. If you are with a high-value man and he does not know that you're a prostitute, at some point, one of his homeboys is going to put him up on game. We used to do this in Vegas all the time. Dude, my boy Zeus had a database of all of the strippers, cam girls, call girls, prostitutes, blah, 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 blah. If I was interested in any girl, I'd be like, yo, Zeus, I need you to run a background check on this girl. Yeah, she worked at Sapphire for a little while, Wet Republic, blah, 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 blah. She's at pool parties, this and that and the third.
Wait, hold on.
No, I know. I'm not. I'm just telling you what is happening and why people are just talking about cultural events and the Agdal thing. And if you look at people like Emily Ratajkowski, she's obviously hot. But this is a woman who's now trying to make divorce chic. And I think that the understanding is in Hollywood is, sleep with her and move on. She's not marriage material.
Nope.
Her husband, when he had her, cheated on her because they didn't have that thing. I feel like I've slept with the girl. I've seen her naked so many times, right? So there's nothing special about Sebastian Bear marrying her because we've all seen her naked. There's nothing sacred in that relationship. And I'm just speaking on telling you, this is why women struggle to get married when they've made themselves available on OnlyFans because other men don't want to share. They don't want to share their wife. They maybe will share their girlfriend. They might think it's fun to date a stripper for a little bit. They might think, oh, this means I'm going to have sex 12 times a day. But then when it gets down to just their biological instinct, it's actually quite embarrassing for them as a man because they can look up your girl and here she is, So that's what I think is happening.
Yeah, Pitney Jules says, does Orange Girl actually think she's going to have a whole litany of options once she's retired? Yeah, she does. She does think she's going to have a litany of options. I just don't understand how women can think that men won't find out or that they won't know. Any man who is worth his salt, at some point, you're going to let it slip. At some point, you are going to let it slip. And I'm going to tell you what. If a dude spends any time with you, 6 months, a year, or whatever, and then you tell him before you guys get engaged, oh, by the way, I used to be a prostitute. I used to fuck two to three guys per day. He's going to be feeling some type of way, man. Lucy Luce on the Rumble side says, it boggles my mind how they don't understand that men find female promiscuity repulsive. It has always been that way. It's insane. And this girl thinks that, look, I'm not gonna look for love until I'm retired. So that somehow, and the way she says that, I'm not going to look for love until I'm retired. The way she says that indicates to me that she thinks that not pursuing anything romantically with another man while she's still working means that all of that is just going to be washed away when she retires. No. The scars of what you did and why you did it will be with you forever.
Yeah, I'm just curious about your opinion on this because I've seen like a couple of people in like Red Pill spaces, like Pace or people similar to that, talking about how they should marry a young woman. Would you agree or disagree that might not be the most rational course of action?
To marry a young woman? What do you mean by that?
That I hear a lot of men talk about how a woman inherently loses value as she gets older.
She does.
And that's why that they should seek out young women.
Well, I live in
young women, not young woman.
The South, and a lot of people get married young, and I think it's really beautiful and wonderful. They preserve this sort of innocence. I have people that work for me that want to.
Men talk about how a woman inherently loses value as she gets older, and that's why that they should seek out young women.
Well, I live in the South, and a lot of people get married young, and I think it's really beautiful and wonderful. They preserve this sort of innocence. I have people that work for me that want to get married at 22. They drop out of school, so I don't think there's anything wrong with marrying when you're young. I'd have to see the full context of what they're talking about because I do think, obviously, the longer you wait, and especially in this society that's creating the simulation that sexuality equates to freedom when it doesn't, that what he might be suggesting is that the longer a woman runs free, the more partners that she's gathering, and her worth is being diminished. And I think that there is some veracity to that. But if it's said in a way that sounds a little crass, like seek out younger women because they're not as used, and I can see why people would be offended by it, but that might be underpinned by a little bit of logic, so I'd have to see the clip in its entirety.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking is because in general, I think men do have a biological proclivity. I can't pronounce that word.
Proclivity.
To seek out like youth and beauty. But I also think when it comes to like settle down, you want a mother who's going to be responsible and good towards her children. Mm-hmm. So I think the idea that like men seek out beauty is true, but I also think men seek out a level of like responsibility and maturity that only comes with age. So it's just
No. Oh wow, Coca-Cola. No, we don't seek out a level of responsibility that comes with age. So what she's trying to say here is that men should seek out older women because they're more responsible. Dude, women grow old, but they never grow up, man. Women don't, and I've said this many, many times. Women stop maturing in, you know what? I'll actually tell you guys that. I'll tell you guys that in a minute. For now, if you guys want to get your hands on my 3 free ebooks, the first ebook, 16 Ways to Immediately Disqualify Her for a Long-Term Relationship. Book number 2, Dead Bedroom, The Cure for a Sexless Relationship. And book number 3, 14 questions she'll ask you on the first date and how to correctly respond. Head on over to tsracademy.com. All you got to do is plug in your very best email, and those 3 books packed with rock-solid, life-changing information are yours absolutely free, tsracademy.com. So, women stop maturing when they realize that men want to have sex with them. And the reason for that is because women know inherently that male sexuality is their key to life, right? If men don't want to have sex with you, you are essentially on your own. So when young women figure out that men want to have sex with them, the way things are today, they think, all right, guys want to smash me. So I don't have to mature emotionally. I don't have to learn to cook. I don't have to learn to clean. I don't have to be responsible, blah, 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 blah. They only start to mature again when their options start to dwindle. Because now all of a sudden they're not getting the same attention that they used to get from the men in their past. So she's 28, 29 years old. Yeah, she's still getting attention, but the caliber of men that are giving her that attention are increasingly decreasing, if you can put it that way. And so now women, okay, all right, well, let me get back in the gym. Let me get into shape. Let me be feminine. Let me be fit. Let me be friendly. Let me learn how to cook. Myron says this distinctly. Women don't start maturing again until they start paying for their own drinks. This is why you have a lot of women in their 30s, 40s, and sometimes even 50s who still act like children. Like, why do you think there's so many 28, 29, 35, 40-year-old women who still act like teenagers? Well, because they haven't stopped maturing yet. They're still getting sexual attention.
So other stuff I've heard from people.
And also, it's like, sex is just sex. Like,
oh no,
it's just sex.
It's not just
and
no.
When you have a partner, you have an emotional connection.
There it is.
And so, like,
this woman said, sex is just sex. She's talking like a man. This is what being a prostitute does. You get the femininity fucked out of you. So sex isn't really an emotionally bonding experience anymore.
Like the guy on your last podcast, he was on here a few days ago. He was saying how, like, for men, sex is just sex. But, like, spending time with a woman and, like, buying her things.
Sterling Cooper.
And, like, going on trips with her is, like, different than having sex with just random people. And that's why they were, like, in an open relationship or whatever.
Oh, that must be blue hair and, I shit in the woods.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't say that, like, swapping DNA is, like, just sex. I mean, the man leaves a piece of himself inside of you.
But, man, that's the way they think. And, like, for women, we get attached to them emotionally, having sex with them.
Which is why it's more of a, when women have a lot of partners, it is different. It's
there you go.
Worse in a way, and people don't want to admit that. But because we are more emotional, there is an attachment. It isn't just sex for women. I think women are damaged by those relationships. Women like to think, because of the social simulation, that it can just be sex.
Looks like Young Jeezy is filing for divorce from Jeannie Mai. Look, I'm gonna have to look into that.
It's whatever. Non-committal, the only people that benefit from that lie are men.
That's right.
It is not great to have sex and have a man not call you back. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't matter if a BuzzFeed article says it does. I had a wonderful weekend and this is why I had sex and didn't worry about it. You feel used, and especially, I would say, if you're not a sex worker and a man does that and never calls you back, and you don't even have money to show for it, I think it diminishes your self-worth even more than your worth to a man.
The reason why I say sex is just sex is because in our line of work, we see it as transactional, right? Especially when we're working. And then at the end of the day, they go home to their wives or whatever, right? And it's like, you're emotionally being there for them and taking care of them and doing all this, that, or the other.
So then sex clearly isn't just sex. It's also emotional.
Well, there we go.
It can be.
There you go.
Yes. But I was saying, according to the guy that he had on the last podcast, he said that for men, sex is just sex. And that
I disagree with the idea that.
See, that's, and again, she's getting her talking points. She's getting her talking points from Destiny and Melina. That's why that is.
Sex doesn't harm, or casual sex wouldn't harm a man or does harm women, or that sex is just sex. I think a lot of people tell themselves that, but I think it can like lead to a lifestyle of just like pure hedonism, whether you're like a man or a woman, and that can be like dangerous because then you're losing, you know, sight of other things that you value or other aspects of life. So I don't really think like, I think for some people that can be true, but I think for the majority of people, like there's a reason why a lot of people are only into monogamy, or why that's been like the norm for a lot of cultures, and I think most people are a little bit hardwired to kind of seek out those intimate relationships. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I think that's
Oh, this is so funny. So Pixie is here. She's trying to make the exception the rule, which is absolutely ridiculous. She's like, well, listen, I get it. I understand it biologically, but this girl she's an idiot.
Most people are, where casual sex can be.
Yeah, and I think it can definitely be harmful for men. I want to be clear. I'm saying that it's different for men and it's different.
It can be harmful for men. It absolutely can be harmful for men, but it takes a lot longer and it takes a lot more. Let's get that right. Listen, having an exorbitant amount of sexual partners as a man can be damaging. It can be, but it rarely is, unless you're like a guy like Rocco Siffredi, who is a mattress actor for years and years and years, plowing, tens of thousands of women. Yeah, it's starting to fuck with his mind, because that's a lot of women. That's a lot of women, but it doesn't work the same with men and women. Yeah, casual sex can be bad for men, but it takes a lot longer for us to get there.
For women, but I don't agree with the statement sex is sex. It's just sex at all.
And it's natural to be like attracted to a lot of different people. You know what I mean?
There we go.
So it's like,
yeah.
But that comes with self-control. I think attraction is one thing, and acting on those needs or.
Okay, this is the schoolgirl assassin right here, y'all. This is the schoolgirl assassin right here. You got to watch out for this chick. This chick is low-key an assassin. She is low-key an assassin. Wow. She's dropped nothing but bars on this episode.
Once by sleeping with multiple people. I don't understand that.
Did you want to come in on...
Ooh, the Level Up Man says, Orange Girl Bad keeps equating sex with sex work. Not the same thing. That's exactly right. That's a very good observation. Sex work is not the same as sex.
I guess I don't. What do you mean?
Like,
I don't
not,
understand.
not
Why
in
would you?
response to her, but
Okay.
just the...
In general?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily agree with the idea that sex is just sex. When I was younger, I definitely had a lot more, like casual sexual relationships, not one-night stands or anything by that measure, more like situationship.
You got to be kidding
Stop
me.
the cap.
There it is. Here we go. Here it is. Yeah, I slept around. I was a slut, but I never had any one-night stands. Come on now.
And as I got older, my views on it kind of changed, and you do feel differently when, like you were saying, it doesn't feel good to hook up with somebody and not have them call you back. So I actually was celibate for about 2 years before I met my partner.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what? Hang on. Let me back that up. I was celibate for 2 years before I met my partner.
When, like you were saying, it doesn't feel good to hook up with somebody and not have them call you back. So I actually was celibate for about 2 years before I met my partner.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. Insanity. Insane. This woman wants us to believe that she was celibate for 2 years before she met her partner. I swear to God. I swear to God. Like, women just think that we'll just believe anything that they tell us.
Doing OnlyFans and everything else.
Your current partner?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't sleeping with anybody. I stuck to it very hard because I just didn't really like the feeling of sleeping with somebody and then getting an emotional attachment to them. So
That's bullshit. She's so full
I
of
think
shit.
that certain people, because everybody is different, I don't think that it's that black and white.
It is that black and white. It is that black and white. It's so funny. When it comes to biological proclivities, it is black and white. Yeah, there are exceptions to the rule here and there. Yes, there are outliers, but not everybody. Dude, men and women are designed. Men and women are designed differently. They're designed differently. And a lot of people like to say, well, everybody likes something different. No. Biologically speaking, it is not the same.
But I think to some people and to some women and to some men, casual sex really is just sex, whether they're leaving DNA or not. I think that there are people that do actually feel that way because I've met women that are like that.
Oh,
but for
of
me,
course.
it's not that simple. And I don't think that it's that simple for most women.
Can I raise a possibility just because it's something that I've sort of seen? So I do think it's possible that for some people, sex may be detached from romantic emotions with that person, but I do think there may always still be an underlying psychological part there of at least an ego boost, at least some sort of like grab for validation, some sort of grab for
There you go.
emotional intimacy, even if you're telling yourself, I'm just doing this because having casual sex is empowering and sex is just sex. I think even in most of the cases where people genuinely believe they're just having sex because it's sex, if they ask themselves a little further, why am I really doing this? Is it perhaps just, to placate my ego or for some sort of male validation or some sort of intimacy or connection because maybe I'm not getting it romantically otherwise, in a more like serious relationship. I am
I would also press for that as a possibility, even in those cases of people who genuinely do think for themselves that sex is just sex.
Well, I mean, I guess we can look to the people that do it professionally. I mean, do you feel that there's some underlying male validation in your work or no?
I find it very meaningful. I find it meaningful when couples come in and they want to work on something, they're working on a goal. Maybe he's got a mental block and we're working on that.
Just when you thought that older women would keep it real. Let me rewind this. This is clearly making her necessity a virtue. Listen to what this woman says.
Professionally, I mean, do you feel that there's some underlying male validation in your work or no?
Watch.
I find it very meaningful. I find it meaningful when couples come in and they want to work on something, they're working on a goal. Maybe he's got a mental block and we're working on that. The gentleman that comes in that's having issues with erectile dysfunction and he's trying to troubleshoot that, and we actually create success for him.
Yeah, that's called Viagra, baby.
It's meaningful to me.
Wait, just one point of clarification. So you're a sex therapist?
As
Oh my
as
God.
sex workers, we're basically sex
I mean,
therapists.
No, baby. No. No. Oh my God, there it is. Brian set the trap for her. Oh, so are you basically? Yeah, that's it. We're basically sex therapists. Guys, there is no such thing as a sex therapist, okay? There is no such thing as a sex therapist. Sex therapists don't exist. Guys, they just don't. You are a sex worker. Period.
I don't have a counseling degree. I have a master's degree in education.
We have
I'm
an
a teacher.
article. You recently kind of went viral. Nick, can you?
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Like, you can talk about having a master's degree in education. Doesn't matter. You've been a prostitute for 30 some odd years. What are we doing?
Pull up the article.
Yeah, St. Jim says, I find prostitution meaningful. Making dicks hard is meaningful. Dude, like, prostitution is not meaningful, lady. I find it meaningful? Dude, seriously? God almighty. This woman doesn't find it meaningful. This is what she has to tell herself and others to wipe the stank off of her being a prostitute. CJ in the 562 says, yeah, nice try, lady. Yeah, right.
New York Post.
Yeah,
New York Post. I'm a sex therapist. I sleep with clients to save marriages.
Oh my gosh. I got
They went
for this
crazy.
person. I did see.
Did you reacted to this, or you saw
almost
it?
did, but I'm here.
You're here now. So,
Perfect.
Nick, can you pull up the article really quick?
Yeah.
One more. Sex therapist Olivia Bentley. Wait. Nick takes a hands-on approach with her clients by sleeping with them. I've saved marriages. The Boise, Idaho native told Kennedy News, calling her work life-changing. I get physically involved with the majority of the people I see. I think that's part of the appeal. The veteran sex worker who spent 15 years in the industry claims that women have asked her to demonstrate sex acts on their husbands, while some wives grant their eager hubbies a hall pass to pay Bentley a visit. Good times.
Yeah.
Is that pretty accurate? I mean, so
Yeah.
you save marriages by having sex with the husband?
Well, I think the tabloids went crazy.
Oh, they,
with
okay,
the whole,
okay.
but
New York Post is known to.
yeah,
Okay.
they really, went wild with it. But
Okay, so which is it? Which is it? You said, okay, so you're not saying that you save marriages, that you're saying that you don't save marriages, which is an accurate exaggeration. So what's meaningful about it? Like, you just said prostitution is meaningful. To what end? To what end? Yeah, St. Jim says a master's degree in smoking sausages. The Roadblock 85 with the $10 super chat says these hoes sleep around because they're trying to lock one of those men down, and they know it. They all know that they would give up being hoes if the men they want actually wanted them to. Exactly. That's exactly right. All of these sex workers, including Orange Girl Dad, she's waiting to find a sucker. She's waiting to find a mark who doesn't know any better.
I do help a lot of couples that come in.
I'm sure you do.
One right now is asking me to lend a hand, and he's more of a beta, and she'd like him to be more of an alpha, and she wants me to work with him on being more just outwardly in control and aggressive in the bedroom, things like that. There's a lot of different psychological
Yeah, you can watch porn for that, y'all.
needs and reasons why people would want to come and work with a professional sex worker.
Sure. Candace, it seemed like maybe you had something.
I think
on
it's the
this.
most outrageous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's absolutely
It's so in the realm of like dragons and mythical creatures mythological creatures that it's hard to respond to. The idea that she's saving marriages, it's just.
You're in disbelief.
I'm actually
Here's another
in utter disbelief that she's saving marriages.
Here's another example.
Sure.
So like, and this has been, there's multiple clients that do this, where the wife will not have sex anymore. She went and said, look, when they were courting each other, she was down for sex. She was a sexual person. She was all about it. Then let's fast forward, they're married. We're married now.
contract solidified. I don't want to have sex anymore.
Contract solidified. Did you hear that? We're married now, contract solidified. And because the contract is solidified, I can now do or not do whatever I want. This is the mind of the modern woman. This is the mind of the modern woman. Contract solidified, don't want to have sex anymore.
Ew, oral sex is gross. Oh, that's demeaning if you're asking me to do that.
So you're not saving marriages, you're helping people to keep up a farce that they are in a marriage.
Woo!
The very moment that you let someone else into your marriage is no longer a marriage.
No.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
these
So
women,
to
no,
say-
Yeah.
these women have turned
Guys-
around and said, I will allow you to see a professional.
So they are not in a marriage. That's the
well,
point.
they're
As soon as
married.
you
Or
lend
some of
your
their
spouse
wives are
out-
like dying from cancer and this, that, and the other. And
If I'm dying from
Even
cancer and
if
my
somebody
husband
sleeps
goes
with
to sleep with
somebody
somebody, I
else.
swear to God.
And their wives,
Dying from cancer? Come on. Like, this is, dude. Mike Steele says that dude needs coaching from Sterling Cooper, not a woman. Yeah, exactly. Ay, 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 ay. This is insane. I swear to God, these bitches will tell themselves whatever they have to sleep at night. Holy God.
These are the
Guys, one
ones
at a
that
time. Hold on,
come.
just one at a time, please. Go. Candace, were you?
I just would like to make the point that at the very moment that you loan your spouse out,
Thank
especially
you.
if you're dying of cancer, so they
Thank
can get, get off, you're no longer in a marriage. So it's
Right. And you're no longer in a marriage. Also, if you're no longer having sex with your husband, you're no longer in a marriage. Right? At least not emotionally. Contractually, you are, which is exactly why she said contract solidified. I'm trying to tell you, man. This is how this is how these bitches think.
just a farce. It's like when it's a comical, you're pretending for people that you're in a marriage, that you're in a loving relationship. That's not what a marriage is. So to say that I help marriages, no, you help destroy marriages, and they can go out and say that we're still married because what we've done is we've essentially said, you take care of this aspect of the marriage. It's like saying, you raise the kids, you have sex with him. This isn't a marriage. It's the whole thing is fake,
What
right?
do you think that they should do? What do you think that
They should work on their marriage together. The union between a husband and a wife should work on their marriage together to fix it. You don't bring out an outside person to sleep with your husband.
But
or
if
your
you're
wife.
saying I'm not down for sex,
Then she
I
might be
want
down for a
you- I want to
divorce.
outsource.
Thank you.
sex.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Thank you. Thank you. If a woman says, I'm not down for sex, then she's down for a fucking divorce. That's it. That's it. Anytime a woman gives her husband a hall pass because she simply does not want to have sex with him anymore, that's not a marriage anymore. It's not. She needs a divorce.
I died
to
from
go to
cancer,
this
and
professional.
she wanted him, and she allowed him to do that because he needed to get off some way. Or she
While she was dying of cancer, one of the last things on her mind was,
this is a
sure-
real life. This is a real
Well, he
life.
didn't want
This is a
to.
real life. Yeah, this was a.
Yes, but again, Candace is calling bullshit on this. She's dying of this woman is dying of cancer, but she has the mental wherewithal to think of her husband's sexual needs? What? That's the last thing she's thinking about. What are we doing? And they always bring up like these crazy worst case scenario type of deals. You're not saving a marriage by fucking a husband whose wife has cancer. If she's dying of cancer, she is going to be dead of cancer. What's the point?
Real, I'm asking you.
And is that what he told you?
This, yeah. So
his wife is dying of cancer, wanted him to come have sex with you.
Ooh.
not with me. This is from.
Oops. Uh-oh. Candace said, is that what he told you? See, a lot of these Johns will lie to these prostitutes to make themselves feel better and to make the prostitute feel better. You're not a home wrecker. You're a home saver. My wife is dying of cancer. My wife is dying of cancer, and her dying wish was for me to be able to get off one last time before she kicked the bucket. Is that what he told you? You don't think these dudes lie to you about this? Jesus Christ.
From what I've heard, yes.
Somebody told you
Right.
that as a dying wish, my
Yes.
dying
So
wife
how would
said,
you
"Please
want
go
that?"
have sex with a prostitute.
saw it on
in the
TikTok.
hospital." I'm just going to call bullshit on that.
Thank you.
altogether.
No,
I just don't
Thank
think
you.
it's dying of
Thank you.
cancer, going through leukemia.
People will literally bring their guys here.
Please bring them on the
Okay.
podcast.
I just want to say,
Thank you. I love it. Dude, I fuck up. She's like, I'm just going to call bullshit. I'm just going to call fucking bullshit. Absolutely. Dude, women will say anything to sleep at night, and men will say anything to get laid. That woman didn't believe that her. Well, you know what? Hey, honey, how was work today? You know, it was a great day at work today. Really, what happened? Well, you know, I had this client, Charles. Really sad story. his wife is dying of cancer, and her dying wish was for him to get to butt fuck a prostitute. And so, you know, as he's there butt fucking me, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm doing this for a good cause. Yeah, I'm glad Candace just came out and said, yeah, I'm just gonna call bullshit on that. Never fucking happened. Fuck that.
Okay,
scenario I've ever heard in my life.
There's
a lot of crazy shit has
There's
been asked
marriage
for in
counseling
brothels.
where they can take you through sex therapy where you don't have to sleep with somebody else. If it's about a woman not wanting to have sex anymore, what's the underlying reason? Are her hormones messed up so she's not wanting to be sexually active? Is there not enough foreplay when
Thank
they're
you.
having sex? Like, there's other avenues you can take for
There's
sex
like
therapy.
normal couples counseling.
Yeah,
Real couples
Just,
counseling,
like, regular.
where you try to solve the problem and you release it, and you don't just source it out to a prostitute.
Go ahead.
The cancer thing is crazy.
Thank you.
The cancer thing is
Thank you.
crazy. But,
Thank
but
you.
outside of that, I don't think that it's up to any of us what constitutes a marriage because every relationship is different.
Oh no, baby. Oh no, 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 no. It is abso-fucking-lutely up to us. Now here she goes. Here she goes with the broad and vague definitions. It's not up to us to define what a marriage is. Oh really? Because the states and the government seem to be very good at that. They seem to be very good at constituting what a marriage is or isn't.
The
So
Bible.
If a husband, okay, but
The words
you're
have
not-
meanings.
not
The
everybody's
Bible.
religious.
Well, wait, hold on. Is that a
saying,
cross
It
necklace?
doesn't constitute, like, what do
Wait,
you got?
okay, really quick.
Oh my God. This woman just, and so Candace countered with, well, the Bible describes marriage. Well, what if you're not religious, blah, 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 blah. And the bitch has a cross. She's wearing a cross. Do you guys see the contradictions? What if you're not religious, blah, 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 blah. Bitch, you're wearing a fucking crucifix.
Not everybody's
Since we're
religious.
talking about religion really quick. Okay, you have a cross necklace, but then your shirt says "Made in Hell."
Yes,
Can
it
you,
does.
I'm a little confused. Can you?
I mean,
I'm a little confused.
the stone is red, so they match.
It's not cute.
Why are you wearing a cross
Are
on
you
your
color
neck?
coordinating with your?
Thank
Because I
you.
don't see a cross as religious, so.
Okay,
I
just
think
like you don't
that's
see a
cute.
marriage as religious.
I don't think that a marriage-
have a meaning, which is why it's like people are out of state.
There it is. Why are you wearing a cross? Because I don't see it as religious. Then why wear it? What, do you think it looks cool? So now she's insulting Christianity. Guys, this is how far modern women have devolved. This is how far modern women have devolved. They think it's cute to wear a shirt that says "Made in Hell" and then have and be wearing a cross because you don't see it as religious. Do you see how contradictory that is? You wear a cross because you think it's fucking cool? Unbelievable, man.
People are like, what is a woman? Because they just go, well, we're going to call it a marriage, but we're going to sleep with other people. We're going to bring in prostitutes. We're going to outsource raising the kids, or we're never going to have kids. You're calling it a family. It's not a family, and this is what it is. The words have no meaning, right? I'm wearing
Thank
the
you.
cross. Why? I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't think of it as religious. Okay, well, Jesus Christ died on the cross.
You think that.
That's what you think.
Wait.
That's
It's
what
been
you
proven.
think. So why are you wearing the
And
cross?
sex
Because I think
worker
it's
is a
I don't
more
think
the design is cute.
better
Wait,
term.
wait, real
I
quick.
grew up
Hold on.
Catholic. I was religious, and I'm not
Prostitution.
anymore. I
Do you
don't have to
help?
believe in what you believe, and I can say that if
I didn't say
somebody-
you had to. I asked you a question.
But
I
you're
said, why are
telling
you
me,
wearing the cross?
okay, and you're saying that the religious aspect of marriage is the only thing that matters. It's not because people don't follow what you believe.
Okay, I asked you why you're wearing the cross, and you said because you thought it was cute.
Yeah,
I'm
and I
glad we
did.
got an answer. She's wearing the cross around her neck because she thinks it's cute.
I'm not religious.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo, and look at the blonde. Look at the blonde. Look at the blonde. Look at the blonde. Look at the potential. Look at the squandered 7-figure girl. She's like, damn, she got you. She's like, damn, she got you. And then of course Pixie's in her feelings because she just doesn't like it when women get dunked on like that. And then of course now here's Miss Orange Girl Bad. Now wait a minute. Dude, Candace is fucking with, oh my God.
So wear like a Star of David.
It's cute.
Like if it was cute, would you wear
Well, okay,
it?
well,
I
I
just
don't
mean
know
like
where we're going
I'm
with this
asking
show.
that because I wonder
Well,
like
I
my
have-
guess is that you would think that maybe you wouldn't wear a Star of David because you're like, oh, this is maybe like disrespectful to people who are.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Oops. Uh-oh. Now this is a very good point. Because this fat bitch who's wearing a cross because she thinks it's cute would be the first fucking bitch who bitches and moans about cultural appropriation. You can't do that because that's what Asians do. You can't do that because that's what black people do. This is the type of bitch. This is the type of bitch that would chastise a white girl with braids and call it cultural appropriation. But you're wearing a cross because you think it's cute. Got it.
Are you making the argument? Maybe I mean.
No, I'm just.
The secular.
It's a very
here,
good question.
I'm just saying.
Devil's advocate here. Secular argument. Someone might just say that the cross is just maybe it's more aesthetically pleasing even for an atheist. I don't know.
Sure,
I
but
don't know.
liberals
Okay,
are all
look.
about like having respect.
But why would you wear why would you wear something that connotes religious beliefs if you were an atheist? Unless you were just trying to troll everybody.
Tolerance.
It's like
So
cute.
like wondering if you
I'm
think
asking,
it's.
would you wear a yarmulke?
I think those are very
Oh, are you
different
talking
things.
like
Why is the
blasphemy?
cross
saying
different from the
I'm-
yarmulke?
I'm just
I mean, I was
asking.
raised Catholic, and that's just
Would
not
you
something
wear
that
a
I believe
yarmulke if
anymore.
you thought it was
No,
cute?
I wouldn't. I mean, a yarmulke is completely different than
No,
a cross
it's
that's been
not.
adapted.
They're
You
different.
can buy a cross.
Wait a minute, a yarmulke, but what if I wore a yarmulke because I thought it was cute? Right? What if I said, you know what? I'm going to wear, I think I know what a yarmulke is. I'm going to wear a yarmulke. Oh, are you Jewish? No, I just think it's cute. I just think it's cute. Yo, that Jewish person will knock your ass out.
Necklace anywhere.
They're symbols of a
Wait,
religious.
the argument of why it's different basically would come down to like how Catholicism has been practiced versus Judaism.
Here
in
we
the sense
go.
That, like Catholics did use a cross symbol, tried to place like in indigenous populations, tried to spread it as much as possible, and that's why in modern day a lot of people think that's like more okay because it was meant to be popularized. It was meant to be
Oh my
a symbol
God.
that the masses should look up to and should see
Pixie, that has nothing to do with the argument.
in general. Versus Jewish symbols,
Okay.
I would argue didn't go through that.
I think we're kind of derailing a little bit.
Yeah.
You wanted to come
Okay,
in, go
yes.
ahead.
So back to the interesting brothel stories. I wanted to say we do actually have men coming in with their parents. Yeah, this actually
their
happened.
wives.
Wait.
So I had a time where a guy came in with both his parents all the way from England to come to the Mustang Ranch because he wanted to
Lose his
Lose his
virginity.
virginity.
Thank
Wait,
you.
is this
and
really
his
where we left
parents-
off? I'm just not following.
and
you.
his parents.
No. This is not where we left off. But Candace called bullshit on her cancer story, so now she's trying to find another legitimate story. Come on, man.
Relationship
Paid
outrageous.
for him to have sex with legal prostitutes.
Hurrah!
I want your stance on that because
Hurrah!
what's your stance on that?
Haram.
And if I may,
And wait, can I just say
like,
that for
we-
me,
She says, what's your stance on that? Okay, so she's got me everywhere else, but what about this situation?
I
Usually
enjoyed the
call it
experience.
sex workers, not prostitutes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
actually,
I'm
she
sorry,
said
wait,
she
wait,
said
wait.
prostitutes.
Yeah, it's because
Okay.
they keep.
Wait,
It's
did I-
because they keep.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
just-
she
Usually
said prostitute.
sex
Yes.
worker.
prostitutes a
Is
little
it
bit more
question? Is it
demeaning.
like a? Is
Well,
it,
she said that at the
is
beginning
it
of the show.
offensive?
Legal
Yeah, she
prostitute.
said legal prostitute. Yeah.
Is
Yes, listen, sweetie, we prefer the term sex worker. No, because sex worker can mean any number of things. You see, sex worker is the title. There are many kinds of sex workers. OnlyFans girls are sex workers. They are absolutely sex workers. Mattress actors and actresses are sex workers. Strippers are sex workers. Bottle girls are absolutely sex workers. OnlyFans girls are sex workers. I probably said one, more than one time, but a prostitute is a sex worker. So if you tell a man you're a sex worker, what is he gonna? What's the next question? Okay. Well, if you're a sex worker, he needs to know specifically. Whoa, wait a minute. You're a sex worker. Like, what exactly did you do? There's a big fucking difference between a prostitute and an Instagram model who sells feet pics or something like that. Don't even start with that. We prefer the term sex worker. Yeah, I bet you do. Because the term prostitute lets people know exactly what you are, not just the field that you're in. Sex worker can mean any number of things. Everybody knows what a prostitute is. Fuck out of here.
I don't want to offend anybody who's prostituted like a.
It's old school. It's still on the books, like on Nevada's books. But like the hipper way to say it is sex worker.
But here's the thing.
No, it's not the hipper way. It's the way to cover up what you do. Because when you tell someone you're a sex worker, that is vague. They're going to assume that you are the least bad of the sex workers. No, baby, no. A prostitute is a sex worker, period. A prostitute is a sex worker, but a sex worker is not always a prostitute. That's why we call you prostitutes. Come on, man. A woman who gets paid to have sex is a prostitute. She is both a prostitute and a sex worker. It's like genus, phylum, class, species. Homo sapien, right? If someone asks me, well, what are you? I'm a mammal. Are you a human being? Well, we prefer the term mammal. All human beings are mammals, but not all mammals are human beings. In the same vein, all prostitutes are sex workers, but not all sex workers are prostitutes. That's why we call you what you are. Fuck out of here, man.
Thing with sex workers.
personally,
that can,
you can call me a legal prostitute.
Yeah,
I got you.
A legal prostitute.
But
Got it.
The thing with the term sex worker is that is such a broad. It includes
Oh my-
strippers. It includes women who take lingerie photos.
Can't make this shit up. I haven't watched 1 minute of this. There you go.
Naked.
If I had let this play for another 5 seconds, I could have spared you guys that 3 minutes soliloquy. My bad.
Wait, question. Is stewardess okay? Because you're a flight attendant, so I'm just curious.
It's not the term that we
Would you be
prefer.
offended if someone referred to you as a stewardess?
No,
You get any older?
older people do all the time.
Doesn't bother you.
No.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure since we're.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
I don't care. Stewardess, flight attendant, but if someone asked her, well, I work in the aviation industry. What are you, an air traffic controller? Do you work for TSA? Are you a pilot? Are you like, what are you? Come on, man.
Earlier it was like talked about like how, you know, sleeping or letting your husband or wife sleep with someone else is like irresponsible or it's not a marriage anymore.
It's
I'm
not.
just kind of curious of what you believe a responsible marriage is like. Or I understand that you have a religious view on marriage, but when I think about marriage, I think like I could see somebody saying they're married if it's like completely romantic, like you're not allowed to do romance with anyone else. Like basically what does a responsible marriage mean to you?
Marriage is not just a contract. Like it wasn't just like the government came up with a contract for people to get married. You know, the history of marriage, you can't separate that from the church. The problem is people are trying to make things cool and trying to update and make them modern, and now people are saying you can have a polygamous marriage and you can bring in other people on the outside of marriage.
God.
What's the point of getting married?
Thank you.
I'd like to ask the question. If you think that you can, if you want to marry somebody and then outsource the sex, you know, outsource the responsibility, outsource what the labor of love is actually supposed to be about, why not just stay single?
Labor of love. There you go. You see, the term labor of love specifically refers to sex, guys. It specifically refers to sex, man. Sex is labor. It is physical. It is literally a labor of love. And if you are no longer willing to engage in this labor of love, then there is no more love. Sorry, at least not the marital love.
So you wouldn't do a threesome with your husband?
Absolutely not, because he's my husband.
Thank
You
you.
didn't have to ask that to get the
Well,
answer.
I mean, there's
Absolutely
married
not.
couples that want to have threesomes, and
you know
some
what
of these
happens?
ladies are
You
bi-curious.
should jump into those Reddit threads, because every single time that marriage ends in divorce, there's so
Bingo. Thank you. Guys, I've been saying this for years. I've done videos on threesomes before. The first thing I'll tell you about threesomes, and I've had a few. I probably had 8 or 9 threesomes. The first thing I'll tell you is threesomes are overrated. Threesomes are overrated. Guys, 9 times out of 10, you're smashing one girl and the other girl is in the corner of the bed masturbating. Every once in a while, there's some other stuff that goes on, but for the most part, threesomes are nothing like they look like on porn. They're just not. Dude, a lot of times I've had 2 great threesomes, and even they weren't that good. That's the first thing. The second thing is that threesomes should only be reserved for your side pieces, friends with benefits, and fuck buddies. Do not have threesomes with your main chick. You will destroy your relationship. You will destroy your fucking relationship. That is crazy. Don't do it.
many Reddit threads.
Secondhand Truth says, man, the blonde is the hottest in the room and probably most rooms she goes into. What a waste. Jesus Christ, man.
I know they don't.
And a lot of them
I have
actually do
regulars
really
of over
well
5
too.
years.
Okay.
And
There's
they're
some that
not
do really
Do you
divorcing.
believe atheists can get married?
I think atheists get married because they want a tax break. I don't see the point of atheists getting married. Why don't you just live with your partner, okay? Whoever it is that you're dating, you're at the stage you said, I don't know if you live with your boyfriend or whatever it is, why take the next leap? If you're wearing crosses for fun and, you know,
I mean, if you're
Oh no! Yo, Candace is not gonna let her go. Candace is not going to let the cross thing. If you're wearing crosses for fun, why not just engage in everything else?
I mean, because then I would just be pledging the fact that I would want to be with them forever.
But you can just be with them forever. So what is it that
Right,
you
but-
crave that when you want to get married? What's that next step for you? What does it mean? What's the difference between dating and marriage?
Because it's a commitment.
Is dating not a commitment?
It's a commitment, but it's saying a
But
next
you're
step. It's
within-
solidifying it.
Okay, solidifying what? Because if
Solidifying
you're,
a bond between 2 people that love each other.
Okay, but what is solidified? If you can then jump into that next commitment, which is the exact same as dating, and you can sleep with other people, and you can put topless photos on the internet, what are you getting married for? Pictures on Instagram to say you did it?
I mean, I'm not sleeping with other people.
Oh my God, Candace is wiping the floor with this whale. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God.
Well, what's the
But-
difference for you between dating and marriage?
I just told you, it's a bond between 2 people. You're solidifying that by law. You're literally making it known. I want to be with this person.
By law. There it is. That's the difference between dating and marriage. Just like Grandma said, contract solidified, I'm not fucking you no more.
Forever. It isn't just a simple breakup. Oh, I can go and do whatever the fuck I want and leave. It's a partnership. It's a bond. It's forever.
But there's no difference between dating and
There
marriage
is a
other than the
difference.
idea in your head that it's a bond, because you're saying also
But it's not an
that
idea in my head. It's on paper.
Okay, it's a paper. And that was the
But
point
it's
I
not
was
a
making.
but I'm saying
a
it's
piece
not
of
a
paper.
tax break. It's a legal
And
thing.
I think
I'm
for people that are
connecting to somebody
committed-
for the rest of my life.
Yeah, well, I think for people that think about marriage and don't think about a cross as something funsy to wear, it's not a piece of paper.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo, this is ugly. This is ugly. Oh my God. Candace is really, and I'm not the most religious guy in the world. You know, like I believe that there is a higher power. I would like to think that. I don't know what happens when we die. You know, I'll admit, honestly, man, I'll admit that I'd love to feel religious again, because there's a certain freedom that comes with, knowing beyond the shadow of a doubt that there is a higher power and that you will go to heaven or hell when you die. I just don't know that that's the case anymore. But even still, Candace is wiping the floor with this chick. So now all of a sudden, this woman wants to give credence to a piece of paper when she's wearing a cross for fun. Do you understand what Devin is saying here? You understand what Devin, Jesus. Do you understand what Candace is saying here? Right? You understand what Candace is saying? She's like, okay, so you want to, so this is a bond forever, but you're wearing crosses for fun. Jesus.
It is a union between a man and a woman, a sacred union that should be protected from external forces. Definitely not something that you open up. How I would feel disgusting if my husband ever came to me and said, "I want you to sleep with another man," or
that's
sleep with another
fucking
woman,
crazy.
sexual fetish. I mean,
that's crazy.
It's utter perversion of what it means to be married, and it will lead to divorces. People
Thank
that
you.
have this perspective. Well, and I'm not saying that if you don't do it, you won't get divorced 100%. But I do want to say that there is probably a reason that a lot of sex workers struggle to find people that want to marry them.
Well, can I say a lot of the
disagree.
perversion that comes if you are not going to be acceptant with your partner, if he comes to you and is like, hey, I really like getting pegged, I want you to peg me, and you're like, ew, that's so disgusting.
That's because it is disgusting. Are you fucking kidding me? Her rebuttal to everything Candace just said is, well, what if a husband wants to get pegged? What? What? Seriously?
Really, nigga?
Oh my God. Oh my God. And to answer her question, if a woman is married to a man who wants to get pegged, she's probably not going to stay with that man. Suffix Finest says, if a husband wants to get pegged, yeah, he's a switch hitter. Yeah, do you see every time Candace takes them down on one of their good reasons to be a prostitute, now they're going more and more extreme. First it was, well, I'm doing this to save the marriage. Candace destroyed that. Well, we've had people who have come in, their wives are dying of cancer. Candace called bullshit on that. Well, okay, but had people fly in, the guy's parents were there. They paid us to sleep with him so that he could lose his virginity. That's absolutely ridiculous. Or at least as far as Candace is concerned. Now, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I mean, listen, if you're a man and you have never had sex before, yeah, so, I mean, at some point, you got to go get laid. But, But now she's going more and more extreme. Well, what if he wants to get pegged? We went from saving marriages to my wife is dying of cancer and her dying wish is for me to have sex, right? To parents paying for their son to lose their virginity to now getting pegged. Ay. Do you see the cope keeps getting higher and higher? Like, look, man. Listen, you get fucked for money, man. And the sooner these women can just wrap their minds around it and just call it what it is, the happier we'll all be. Blazanity with the $5 super chat says, damn, like Sonya Blade's classical fatality, Candace blew a kiss and incinerated her fatality. Holy God.
I would never do that. You want me to eat your ass? I would never do that. Well then, okay, what are you going to do? Divorce him? Or what are you going to do? Realistically, I'm asking you. Hold on, I really want to. I want to know. What are you going to do? That's your husband. He's like, hey, babe.
I think one of the things about marriage that's really beautiful is I know what my husband, before we got married.
Thank you. Thank you. There you go. She knows that her husband is not the kind of dude who wants to get pegged. I think that would be fairly obvious from the start. Like, husbands don't all of a sudden come out of nowhere after 2-3 years of marriage. You know what? I think I want to get pegged. No, they've already had those proclivities. Stop it.
You know who
but things change, and maybe he wants to start exploring.
He wants to start doing what?
So he wants to start exploring, and he's like, oh my gosh, maybe I do want you to like eat my ass, and I kind of want you to peg me. Like I kind of want anal penetration from you because you're my wife and you're so beautiful and hot, and we're married and we have kids together, and I'm feeling a little bit kinky, and with you since we have this special marriage and bond.
Jesus, listen
how
to
would
her.
you feel if we could just try this out just this one time, babe, please?
I think it would probably indicate to me that my husband was involved in some perverse world, whether it was
pornography,
that something else was happening on the side, because these aren't normal things that people just think of when they wake up.
So
like,
what's your
hey,
next
I'd
move?
really like a strap-on dildo.
Okay, right. Well, what's your next move?
what's the ultimatum? He's going to divorce me if I don't
so
peg
what's-
him?
so what's the next move?
Crazy. I would think that individual would probably need therapy and not the kind that you give.
Okay.
Ooh.
But you're gonna stay with.
See, this is funny. See, she keeps trying to sharp angle her.
You don't immediately divorce.
Okay.
Marriage is
Gonna
about
say-
working through issues and working through problems.
Okay,
You don't immediately
right.
divorce them. And this gets back to what she was saying about if your
Because-
husband, if suddenly
Shut the fuck up, bitch. Let her answer the question. Let her answer the
a woman
question.
doesn't want to have sex, which would be another huge issue in a relationship, I would hope that my husband wouldn't instantly divorce me, but I would hope that they
Well,
would
some
take
guys
the
are terrified of that, and some guys don't even feel like they can open up to their wives about that. Sounds
Sounds like they need therapy.
They
then.
need therapy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
And it sounds like they need therapy and not the kind that grandma gives. Thank you.
work on your
But
marriage.
the thing is that they'll come to us, talking to us about that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's just like
And I think
I don't
that
know.
that's
I think
unhealthy. And I think that the fact that sex workers exist as this what you believe to be a solution, when in fact that's a detriment because you're getting in the way of the wife and the husband being able to communicate.
Nah. I think sex workers offer, and I don't know how Candace feels about this, but I think sex workers, I think they provide a good service, because without sex workers, man, there would be a lot more violent men in the world. Without pornography, without just without pornography, Playboy, without some sort of release or outlet, there would be a lot more violence. There would be a lot more violence. So sex workers do have their place, but not with married couples. Roadblock 85 with the $10 super chat says, these hoes are what happens when you don't think anything through, understand what words mean, hold any solid beliefs, or have real friends who will tell you the truth. Real talk. Let's continue.
Okay. And so I would much rather my husband go, if there was an issue and your wife's not having sex, I'd rather him go talk to a priest. I'd rather him go talk to another male. When males sit down and talk about, hey man, you should talk to her about
Okay,
this.
but let's
I'd
be
rather
real.
him.
What
No,
man
let
nowadays
me
is
finish my
gonna do
statement. I'd rather him. What do you mean, bros talking to each other about things? That's a normal. I'd
Especially
rather if I
about
have an
sex,
issue in my,
it's pretty
it's pretty normal. I'd rather go talk to my sisters about things that are going on in
No,
my
I said,
marriage.
what
There's a
man?
lot of steps you can take before
See
you talk
this?
to a prostitute about your marriage. I just
There it is. See, she keeps see what Orange Girl Bad keeps trying to say. What she's trying to do is somebody just said in the chat. Yes, Ibn Zuhr says they're trying to justify. They're doing their best to justify the work. Exactly. They keep escalating the reasons. And Candace is like, hey man, number one, I would know if my husband was into that sort of thing before we got married. Number two, if things change, it's time for counseling. I'm not going to divorce him right away. But what Orange Girl Bad is trying to do is she's trying to put herself in position. Hey, I save marriages. The reason my job is noble because I save marriages. If there's XYZ issue going on, then prostitution is the answer. Prostitution is never the answer. Ever. In a marriage or a committed relationship. Ever. Bringing another person in for sex is a relationship killer. Stop it. Like, prostitutes, don't get me wrong, prostitutes do a good service for single people. They destroy relationships. Let's get that right.
Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I live in such a crazy.
I'm saying, what man is
I don't
willing
know.
to do that?
I
Because
turn on a
apparently
Taylor
we
Swift
get a lot
song,
of those on
cry
this
a little
side.
bit in my
That's what I'm
room. I don't know. There's a lot. I would turn to Taylor
Wild
Swift
proposition.
before I would go to a prostitute about my marriage.
I know,
and
but you're not a male, so I'm just saying, like,
men can talk to
where-
other. What are you talking about? There's all of these podcasts of men talking to men and being inspirational and talking about porn addiction and talking about the things that are
Thank you.
corrupting
Thank
men's
you.
minds.
Thank
That's
you.
out there.
Okay,
and
I
those
know
are
that.
I would much rather my husband listen to those men
Right.
and look for guidance, whether it's in the church,
Then
whether
go
it's
to
in
a-
podcast, whether it's a
then
spiritual
go to
leader,
a
and turn
prostitute.
in a brothel.
I hear you.
So there's a lot of steps that you can take.
Oh, my
from,
God.
We're having an issue in our marriage to my husband's at a
Dude, Candace is dunking on these hoes. Holy moly.
brothel next to a prostitute talking about issues.
I think actually, let me just step in really quick. I do think, though, I would like to redirect the conversation because I do think it's probably a very small portion of people who are married are seeking to bring in a prostitute to
Right.
for the husband. It just seems like such a small kind of what's up, really quick?
Statistically, married men are actually the highest number.
It's called an outlier. Brian. Now here we go. Here we go with bullshit statistics. Here we
It
go.
seems like such a small kind of what's up, really quick?
Statistically, married men are actually the highest number of clientele for prostitutes.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying, please listen from me. I'm literally telling you guys, males come to us and say all this stuff, which is like their first.
Statistically, married men are they're the highest demographic for prostitutes. There you go. And you want to know why? You want to know why men are going to sex workers now? You want to know why they're going to sex workers? It's because their women are unfuckable. Their women are fat, they're unwilling, they don't do the things that they used to do. That's why. And the reason why married men go to see prostitutes is because, like Orange Girl Bad said, they are afraid to divorce their wives. Why? Because of what Grandma said. Contract solidified. There it is, guys. It's one big racket. It's one big racket. Contract solidified. It's cheaper to keep her. So guess what? You know what? She's not fucking me anymore. If I divorce her, I'm going to lose everything, or at least half. May as well go fuck a prostitute. Once again, that comes down to the woman. Sorry. The fact that married men make up the highest demographic of clientele for prostitutes, that's not a flex, honey. That's not a flex. That is a sign of a systemic degradation of our women. That's what that is. Fuck out of here with that nonsense.
Scared of you guys because how you might react. Two, they feel like they can't be honest and open with you guys. That's why they result in coming to places like
just
that.
so you guys know, that statistic doesn't mean that the majority of married men go to prostitutes. So
I didn't say that.
No, I'm just letting her know, because she said, like, yes, like it was a debunk.
No,
no. The majority of married men
nice.
don't
I'm just saying, like,
to prostitutes.
a lot.
That was factually very good. Yeah. She said the majority of the male clientele that seek out prostitutes are married men. But that does not mean that most married men seek out prostitutes. Very good.
They might get a
small
small
married men,
contingent,
is what
and
I'm
they might be
saying,
majority
right?
married.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
I think that's a good
But-
reason to have, I guess, on the point of like something was brought up earlier about like what is like a responsible marriage to you. So part of being a good partner as like a wife or girlfriend to whoever you're with is making them feel comfortable telling you anything, especially if it's something that they think is serious enough to consider leaving like their relationship with you for. Like if it's serious enough that they would consider divorce.
Yeah, DJ O says Saudi Arabia is a beautiful place, and they don't have rampant sex workers. Society will only break down with unrestricted freedom. I agree.
Forcing you if they can't explore the sexual fantasy or anything like that. I think that's just a part of being good on the. I agree with what you're saying here that they that these men don't feel comfortable that they could tell their wives, and I guess that's just a part of being, not that it's justifiable that you as a wife you should give in to any sexual fetish your partner brings to you. It's whatever you're comfortable with, wherever your boundaries are. But I guess that's a part of that continuous conversation with them, so that they always feel comfortable bringing up anything to you as a friend, as like a confidant, and knowing they're not going to be judged.
Right.
But they'll be a partner with you.
I do have to move on. So we have a couple chats here I want to try to get through. We have Beaten Cheeks, Candace Owens, do not hold back.
Beaten Cheeks.
Back on these libs, wipe the floor with your intelligence. Congrats on being prego again. Be easy with my Essie though. She's about to get retired out soon.
Okay, first of all, I have beef with Beaten Cheeks because
Uh-oh.
he asked me on a date and then posted a photo with another girl on Twitter.
Oh,
So
are you guys loyal? I mean,
But did you smash though? Did you smash Beaten Cheeks?
on a date and you guys are committed. You're committed to Beaten Cheeks
we're
with his
basically
ridiculous
together.
name.
So he's posting photos with another woman right after asking
Wow,
me out.
Beaten
Beaten
Cheeks.
Cheeks.
How
He's
could
literally
you
breaking my heart. He's breaking
commit
my
this act of infidelity on Essie over here?
Oh my
You've never
God.
met yet. Okay, we have Frankie K. Hey, thank you, man. You know what's funny about Beyonce? She encourages single ladies to have fun, supports promiscuous behavior in her music, and perpetuates the "I don't need a man" mentality. And when she's
Yep.
done recording, she goes home to her husband and her children.
That's right.
Who, by the way, Jay-Z cheated, right?
Yes,
Okay,
he did.
all right.
Jay-Z always cheats.
All right. Good point, Frankie. Thank you, man. We have Canada J. Candace, the Honey Badger Queen. Is that your nickname?
I don't know.
Or did you just get bestowed with
I
the...
just got bestowed.
Thank you for your voice and being on. This wacky space is a cultural battlefield that somehow pushes beyond ideological bubbles. When are Jeremy and Ben going to make Brian an offer? Seriously, think about it.
Yeah. I'll bring it to them. I've got a lot to bring to them.
Yes, the Tiger King.
Yeah, Tiger King and Matt
thing.
Walsh,
There you
yeah.
go. All right, we have Travel Trades here. Oh, wait, I'll just read. Hi, Brian, long time no see. Hopefully I can come on once I'm back from Kuwait. Hi, Candace, thanks for being a voice when I felt odd having conversation. Conservative. Excuse me. Your bravery has helped countless people become comfortable with being conservative.
Good.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
We have Travel Trades. People in this day and time are exceedingly haughty and refuse to pursue the abolition or even suppression of ego in their everyday lives. People appeal their own wants, needs, opinions, ideas, etc. above all else instead of appealing to something greater from Travel Trades. Hey, thank you, appreciate it. And then lastly, we have Society. That's probably not. I don't know. Panel, please listen to everything that Candace says. You have a rare opportunity to see what a high-value woman is and learn from her as she's intelligent, respected, and accomplished. You can't justify and make excuses.
There it is. There it is. People are starting to figure out, man.
For your lifestyles. Anybody got a response to that one?
Nope.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, there you go. All
I
right.
like my lifestyle.
I love
Okay.
my lifestyle.
I
and
can
what it's
change it
created
at any
for me.
time.
Oh my God. I like. Oh, wait. Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up.
Can't justify and make excuses for your lifestyles. Anybody got a response to that one?
Thank you.
Oh, okay, there you go. All
I
right.
like my lifestyle.
I love my
Okay.
lifestyle.
Oh, look at Orange Girl Bad. Orange Girl Bad didn't have shit to say until Grandma jumped in and said, I love my lifestyle.
That one.
Watch her. Watch Orange Girl Bad. Watch. She's kind of like, And then as soon as Grandma says, I love my lifestyle. Oh, yeah, I like my lifestyle.
And make excuses for your lifestyles.
Listen.
Anybody got a response to that one?
Thank you.
Oh, okay, there you go. All
I
right.
like my lifestyle.
I love my
Okay.
lifestyle.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. Fuck out of here, man. You love getting fucked by men for money? Grandma, the reason why you like your lifestyle is because it's the only lifestyle that you can now do to put food on the table. This is what Rollo calls making your necessity a virtue, which is another word for saying it's cope. Of course you have to like your lifestyle. It's the only one you can have right now. It's the only one you can have. Get out of here, man.
And would change it at any time. These beans.
Wait, she said who? Wait. She said she could have changed it at any time?
Oh, okay, there you go. All right.
I like my lifestyle.
I love
Okay.
my lifestyle.
I would change it at any time.
Oh, wow. I could change it at any time. Dude, that is a lie. That is a fucking lie. And once again, an older woman is sitting here leading a younger woman astray. We have two women who are prostitutes. And this older woman is going to sit here and say, I love my lifestyle. I could change it at any time. Yeah, you probably could. You could stop being a sex worker at any time. But when she says I could change it at any time, what she's not telling us is that she can't change the consequences. Yeah, anybody can change their lifestyle. Anybody can change that, right? I've changed my life, of course. But what she wants us to think when she says I can change my lifestyle at any time, what she means to say, what she wants us to think is that she can just wipe the slate clean at any time. Just like Orange Girl Bad says, I don't date while I'm working. And I'm not going to pursue anything seriously until I'm done working. As if to somehow imply that if she looks for love only after she retires, that somehow wipes everything out. That does not wipe the slate clean, baby. That does not wipe the slate clean.
Being in this industry, you don't run out of opportunities. Men are coming all the time.
Yes, they are coming all the time, but they're not the men that you want. That's the problem. Do you see this false sense of abundance? Men are coming all the time, says the 50-year-old prostitute. Unbelievable.
I wanted to settle down with one of them. I think that could have happened. Yeah.
Wait, when you say men are coming to you all the time as clients, right?
Yeah.
And you said if you wanted to settle down with any of them, you could, but
why didn't you? Because they're not the men that you want. And it's like I said at the top of the broadcast, the kind of men that have to pay for sex are not the kinds of men that women want. Not even the women they pay for sex. Come on, man.
Do you find the men who come to you attractive? Because
Bingo.
I've heard from a lot of women who do OnlyFans or even
okay, you do find them attractive, so why aren't you with them?
Women who are exotic dancers.
This is
whatever.
bullshit. She didn't find any of these men attractive.
Adult content. That the men that typically are the fans or consume the content or come and see you, your clients, a lot of these women don't view these men just by virtue of them coming to you.
Thank
by
you.
virtue of them
subscribing
to your OF.
Thank you.
In and of itself makes them not a prospect for.
There you go. There it is.
Wow. These are normal guys, and some of them are hot. So I'm a fitness competitor.
Okay. All right.
I'm 46 years old. I figured I would.
Did this woman just say, and I figured she was a fitness competitor, but did this woman just say she was 46 years old? Did this woman just say that she was 46 years old? Gentlemen, my fiance, Devin, is 47, and she looks at least a decade younger than this chick. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ladies, if you are watching this right now, this woman is the quintessential example of what happens to a woman when she has sex with random men. This is I cannot believe this woman just said that she was 46 years old. I thought she was in her 50s. I'm not even lying about that. I thought the bitch was 53. Look at this. This woman is 46 years old. She looks every bit of 52, y'all. She looks every bit of 52. Oh my God. Guys, I don't know how else. I don't know how else I can illustrate the effects of this. And you know what's interesting? These girls, yeah, look at the girl sitting next to Candace. She's like, holy shit, you're what? Oh my God. Ladies, for the four women watching this, if you haven't heard anything I've said to this point, you need to listen right now. The woman on your screen is what happens to you when you have sex with a lot of men. This is insane. Yeah. Yep. 46 going on 55. Mike Steele says she looks 50. You better believe it. Yep. King Life says the effects of alcohol. I would say the effects of drugs and alcohol. Because in order to cope with and deal with the shit that you have to do to make a living every day, you got to be a little bit sauced. And I don't mean Gardner. Holy God. The blonde next to her almost looks like she feels sorry for her. Jesus. Wow. 46. Fucking hell.
I was going to age out of the industry. What has happened? MILFs are all the thing. They're the cat's pajamas.
Baby, you are not a MILF, baby. You are a gagilf. That's right. I said a gagilf. Oh my God. Here we go. Dude, here we go with these older women talking about, well, MILF porn and this MILF. Dude, it's over.
Right now, so I'm getting a ton.
MILF.
Well, okay, yeah.
No, not you, baby.
The
Coming.
youngins.
The youngins.
The youngins.
Young gentlemen.
Really?
Tons of
Okay.
them. And then, you know.
That's because of porn.
Fitness competitors, judges that judge in the circuits, and then they'll say, hey, you're looking good, or tighten this up. So there's a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of individuals now.
To meet them, though, but I mean,
and
when it comes to
date them, and
when
they
it comes
come
to
back.
long-term,
Yes, and date them. Nah, you can't. No, listen, just because you're fucking someone doesn't mean you're dating them. Here we go.
commitment. I mean, I think
They want, I agree. What I encounter, and something what Candace said, is these guys, they are prideful. So once they start dating you, they do, in my experience, they do want you to maybe consider settling down. Now, I've done real estate. I was vice president of business growth at an active.
Of course you were. Of course she was in
company
real
during
estate.
COVID.
Yeah, how did that work out for you? How'd that work out for you?
I have a master's degree. I can do different things.
But you don't. But you don't. I have a master's degree and I had real estate, this and that and the other, but I get fucked for money because young guys want MILFs.
what do you have a master's in?
Education.
Okay,
I got straight
got
A's.
it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, your straight A's don't matter, baby. I got straight A's too. She's trying to reclaim whatever. She's trying to reclaim whatever respectability she ever had. No one gives a shit about your degrees or your straight A's, baby. You are a woman who is damn near 50 who gets fucked for money.
and I taught for a while. So I come in and out. I'll go into white collar work and then I'll go back into the industry because it's fun for me. I enjoy it.
Oh my God. I'll go back into the industry.
Combined, I am Captain Planet.
Ay. I go white collar, but then I go back into the industry. Guys, this is cap. This is all fucking cap. You're not teaching. You're not going in and out of white collar jobs. What white collar jobs are going to hire a prostitute? Come on. Dude, these women think that we'll just believe anything they say. Dude. This is insane. It's insane. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
And it's an adventure. I enjoy going out with these guys, being a travel companion.
No, you don't. You got back into the industry because you needed the money. No woman does sex work because she wants to. Women don't enjoy sex work. They don't. You don't enjoy getting fucked for money. You don't enjoy that. Fuck out of here.
And getting to go on vacations.
No, I just wanted to ask you, as the man sitting at this table, are you attracted to their lifestyles? Do you think men are attracted to their lifestyles? I'm just curious about your opinion. Just to hear on the male.
I don't care.
No, we
well,
don't.
That's so rude.
No,
He's
I'm
here
here
to
to
ask you your opinion about
No,
everything.
I said, like, good thing I don't care for
But
what other male has to say about my industry, though.
But he's been asking you questions about what you think about men.
No, I'm gonna
He's been
listen to
asking you
him.
questions about your life, and the first thing when I
No,
asked one
he can
question to
say
him.
This is so funny.
Go back into the industry
See, now Orange Girl Bad is being combative.
because it's fun for me. I enjoy it, and it is good money, and it's an adventure. I enjoy going out with these guys, being a travel companion. And
Yeah,
getting
sure
to
you
go on
do.
vacations.
Yeah, especially the getting paid part.
No, I just wanted to ask you, as the man sitting at this table, are you attracted to their lifestyles? Do you think men are attracted to their lifestyles? I'm just curious about your opinion, just to hear on the
Good thing
male.
I don't care.
Well, that's so rude.
No,
She said, "Good thing I don't care." Oh yeah, that's all. Yeah, it's all fun and fucking games now. Oh, I don't care. Bitch, you're 25 going on 40. You better care.
Ask your opinion about
no,
everything.
I said like good thing I don't care for
But I
what
didn't-
other male has to say about my industry though.
But-
That's not what you said. You said I don't care.
He's been asking you questions about what you think about men.
No, I'm
He's
gonna
been
listen
asking
to
you
him.
questions about your life, and the first thing when I
No,
ask one
he can
question to
say his
him, you
questions.
say,
I'm
I
just
don't
saying, like,
care. I feel like that's...
personally.
I'm very hurt.
Like-
I want to know.
Yeah, I'm just, yeah, but why
How dare
interrupt
you.
that? Like when he asks you a question, what if someone said, I don't care what she says? You know, I think that's just
No,
a little
like
rude.
I'm saying like because everybody's always out here. I see your faces that you're giving her and stuff like that. And I think
No,
it's funny.
I just am
And so
saying
I'm
like
just
I'm letting her
like,
talk, but I just wanted to hear his opinion on it. So I just
Go
was
ahead,
that like a
Ryan.
little bit of insecurity to just jump and say I don't
Ooh!
care?
Can I poach Candace from the Daily Wire?
Oh my
Ryan.
God. Dude, yo. Candace is dunking all over these people.
He's letting
the
talk so
defender.
much. We've all been letting people talk with different perspectives. So I just thought it was like suddenly he hasn't even said anything, and you've
There was
already
a few
diminished.
times where
Condescending.
Okay, well,
look.
in any
yes.
case-
So
in any case,
it's
so-
okay.
I just want to hear
Just
a male
continue, Ryan.
voice. Like we've been all talking
Okay,
about our
I'm trying to
opinions.
let Ryan continue, and you're still talking.
Okay.
A bit of insecurity coming out over there. Not sure where it's coming from, but go on.
Yeah, she's a prostitute, Candace. She's a prostitute. That's where the insecurity is coming from. And everybody at the table knows it. From fucking right to left. The girl on the right, awkwardly playing with her hair because shit's getting awkward. The girl with some sense is taking a drink of water so she didn't have to look at this bitch. Even the girl in the back now has a facial expression like, damn.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, do I have your permission? Is it okay? Is it okay?
Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
So sorry, can you just repeat the question one more
Yeah,
time?
I was just saying like it's interesting because we're all women and we're giving different perspectives and female perspective on this topic. When you hear what she just said about sex work and how she feels about sex work, or you hear what she's saying, or you hear what she's saying, what is your honest opinion as a man? Because what we're trying to get to, I think, the nucleus of is, you know, high value women, high value men. What creates that? How men?
Oh boy. I don't think, yeah. Somebody just said it. Pointless Fears with the $5 super chat says she takes straight D's. No one cares about those A's. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Roadblock 85 says Brian's too soft to be brutally honest with these O's. Yeah, and I think that's where I think Candace is going to be disappointed with. I think Candace is going to be disappointed with how things matriculate from here.
Respond to that, and we have the opportunity to hear a man. You know?
I mean, I personally would not date a woman who is involved in sex work in any of its various manifestations. I mean, it's kind of, I'm not really like a hater if people want to do that sort of thing. When on a societal level, I don't know if it's, the best thing, but I'm kind of like, hey, whatever, go do your thing. But as far as my own personal preferences, standards, and boundaries when it comes to a relationship, I don't foresee myself wanting to get involved with someone who does sex work.
And why do you think that is? I think most men would agree with you. I think that makes sense to me. But why is that? Because I think it's just interesting to hear my perspective.
Uh-oh, you're forced to. She's really gonna make Brian tell these hoes what's up. Is Brian go? I'd like for her to ask that question to Sosnick. I wonder what he'd say.
Sure. I mean, well, kind of going back to there being different levels to it. So I mean, if she's a prostitute or was a prostitute, I mean, it's kind of, I feel like that's just common sense. Like, I wouldn't, no offense, I just wouldn't date a woman who's a prostitute.
I'm not offended, like I said.
And probably they wouldn't want to date me. I don't know. It's fine. It's cool. But yeah, I wouldn't. No. Because I would want monogamy. I'd want loyalty. And even though it's for work and they're just doing it for money, my view of sex is not. I don't think you can. Well, people.
Oh, Brian, you said you want monogamy. Look, prostitutes can be monogamous after they retire. Brian's not going to say it, so I will. The reason why men don't want to date prostitutes is because it's fucking disgusting. That's why. It's fucking disgusting. It's unsanitary. Like, seriously? You want to commit. Oh, wait a minute. Even Zooer says correction. Drunk. You know what? You're right. Yes. Drunk Adam. Dude, Drunk Adam would have a fucking field day with these. Sober Adam is red pill. Sober Adam is blue pill Adam. Drunk Adam is red pill. Yo, Drunk Adam is a fucking savage. We all love Drunk Adam. Holy shit. But yes, dating a prostitute, it doesn't even matter. That's disgusting. Did you just listen to this woman say that when Hoff had the girl on Oprah that they were seeing 10 or more clients a day? What? Like, dude, like, honestly, I just could not. That's disgusting. That's just, dude, it's just unsanitary. Sorry. King Life with the $5 super chat says, girls in real estate, if you buy a house, I will add in a complimentary BJ. Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think you ought to detach intimacy from sex, and people who engage in a lot of casual sex or people who do it for work, you've essentially just detached intimacy from sex. So definitely not a prostitute. I mean, not a stripper, not a OnlyFans, no.
I feel like that was just like an unnecessarily long way to answer. Like, no kid's gonna want to date a hooker. I don't know. It's like.
Yo, pink haired girl kept it real. She kept it fucking real. Look, she's like, look, Brian. All you had to say is that I don't want to date a fucking hooker. Like that. She just watch.
No.
I feel like that was just like an unnecessarily long way to answer. Like, no kid's gonna want to date a hooker.
Straight up. She told him dude. She told him straight up. Look. That was look. Just say you don't want to date a fucking hooker. Just say it. Just call it what it is.
It's like I don't think it's like that.
Yeah, and I said I don't care because it's like, and you're like, no, don't take offense. Like, I'm not gonna take offense to something I don't care about. That's why I'm like.
Oh yeah. Of course you don't care. Of course you don't care. Isn't that cute? You don't. No. You absolutely care. You absolutely care. And the fact that she already said, "Well, I don't care," means that she cares. Edward Cross says the hot tilapia is a petri dish. Yes, she is.
Which is a preempt. And you stated, you were like, and you looked at me and you said, and don't take offense. Like, baby, I'm not offended by any means. You know what I mean?
Baby, I'm not offended by any means. What she means is, I don't want you. That's what she means. When she says, baby, I'm not offended. No. That's not what she meant. She meant to say, baby, I don't want you. So this is, again, making their necessity a virtue. Really? You wouldn't date a prostitute? Well, that's okay, because I wouldn't date you either. You can't fire me because I quit. Got it.
Okay.
I'm
That's
not
totally
looking for
I'm not trying to offend you. She was just asking me.
Yeah, literally just asking a question.
Yeah, earlier I was like talked about like promiscuity. Like I'm assuming you guys believe that promiscuity is like
Pixie.
being encouraged in society. I was wondering what specific factors do you think encourage it most? Do you believe it's like media? Do you think like birth control has anything to do with it? Do you believe like I want to know what your top factors of promiscuity are and what you believe it is.
Okay, so this is funny. This girl Pixie, she likes to ask questions. Pixie is she's so predictable. She likes to ask questions that will lead into the subject matter that she has rehearsed. That's what she's doing. She has a specific answer that she wants to give, and so what she's doing is she's asking the question, or she has a specific rebuttal she wants to give. So she's asking a question that she thinks will lead to her grand rebuttal. That's all. That's all she's doing. She just wants to steer this into a part of a conversation where she has rehearsed this.
Yeah, so I would say number one contributor is culture and the education system. So I remember when I was left-leaning, a lot of my ideas came from the school system, and just what you're talking about, Planned Parenthood in the classroom, that effort began in the 70s. The majority of high schoolers were graduating with their virginity intact in the 70s before they started teaching health class, which was teaching people that everybody's doing it, and actually they weren't, and within 1 decade it completely flipped, and the majority of teens were now graduating having lost their virginity. So we ceded a lot of that to the education system, which when parents had more control over their children, what was happening in the classroom was based on arithmetic and not cultural issues, and focusing on engineering children to think that sex is this positive, it's you just do it, everybody's doing it, doesn't matter if you have multiple partners. You combine that with feminism in the classroom. I was forced in college to take a Feminism 101 course, and they kind of made you think that,
Beaten Cheeks donated $200.
Uh-oh.
Candace, please tell these women their past promiscuous matters to be with a decent guy that will not be beta males. SC, that was just a friend. We still on relax. Just answer my text and we good I promise equals D.
All right, is there a question here for Candace?
Wait, do you mind if I push back a little bit on the education system comment?
Oh, here we go.
Because at least from the things that I've read and I've studied, it seems like
read and studied, but not lived.
That is true, but in a very particular context, and that very particular context was like basically abstinence-only education, which I don't know about you guys, but makes complete sense to me. Because if you tell teenagers like, don't do this thing is like super, like don't do it. It feels super good, but you're not supposed to do it or whatever. If you phrase it that way, then teenagers are going to go.
Nobody says that sex feels super good, don't do it. No, they just say abstinence.
And do it, because like at least everything that I've seen recently has been talking about how if you talk about proper sex ed, and people who have more access to contraceptives as well as better sex ed tend to have like a lower body count than people who are like in like lower education.
Really? And how do you know? See, here she goes with these facts and studies and statistics. Stop it.
Less sex ed, less access to contraception. So I was just wondering, like, your thoughts on that.
I'm telling you it's not true, factually. In the 70s, before they got Planned Parenthood, went in the classroom and started funding initiatives, and they started teaching sex education. There used to not be sex education in school, and the way that they got it into the classroom in the 70s was by saying, it's better to teach them, which is what you're saying, because then they'll be more responsible. It actually, within 1 decade, it flipped. The majority of high schoolers were graduating with their virginity before there was sex education, and they put sex education in the classroom. The majority of them, within 10 years, were not graduating.
Bingo. So Candace just told her, Candace just told her, what you said is just false. This is a bunch of bimbo babble. Candace is like, no, what you said is not true. What you said is not true. She wasn't ready for that.
with her virginity. So it actually sexualized children.
Yeah. My understanding, but the reason why was because the first manifestations of sex education was abstinence only.
And it was working is what I'm saying to you.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, it was working. So abstinence used to be, considered.
Yes, thank you. Yes, there you go. Abstinence was working. When they preached abstinence, yeah, teenagers were not fucking like that. But as soon as they started sex education, that's when teenagers started fucking like that. Pixie Pixie's out of her depth here. She's out of her depth. She thinks she's smart, but she's not. Like, dude, honestly, she's as dumb as a flat tire. It's ridiculous.
I'm not at all trying to, I'm just telling what the facts are here.
King Life says, Pixie is Destiny's wannabe shorty. I hope not. I hope not, man. Oh my God.
When abstinence was the cultural simulation, when everyone said you should be abstinent, you should not have sex before marriage, that idea was permeated throughout culture. It was reflected in culture. There were no sex ads. There weren't people naked on the internet, and people lived their lives. It was considered a big thing, to lose your virginity. You were actually considered someone that maybe a guy wouldn't want to marry because you lost your virginity. That was the cultural understanding, in the 50s and the 60s. And then in the 70s, you had this fourth wave of feminism that reared its ugly head and started associating sexual promiscuity to freedom, and things completely flipped. Again, I'm just giving you a historical analysis of what happened in the classroom without commentary.
Yeah, it's okay if you, sorry, I'll just finish.
Make it quick if you can.
See, there it is. Told you. There is a rehearsed rebuttal she wanted to talk about. That's what it was. She wants to steer this conversation in what way, I have no idea. But Candace just flattened her, and now she's going to try to save face.
I'd be interested to see where exactly you're getting that from. If later you can tell me whatever.
Thomas Sowell inside the education system, and he has all the sources listed in the back of the book.
Okay, because.
So this bitch just said, oh, well, I'd be very interested to find out where you get your facts from. Call me on the phone later. Bitch, you know you don't want to talk to fucking Candace, you fucking bitch. Did you see what she did? And look at the blonde girl. She's like, damn, she got you. Watch this exchange. Watch this exchange. She literally tried to say, Candace, you're full of shit. You're bullshit. I don't believe anything you're telling me. I'd be interested. That's what she was telling. That's what she was saying. But she tried to sugarcoat. Well, I'd be interested to find out where you got this from. Bam! Got her right there. Watch.
Promiscuity to freedom, and things completely flipped. Again, I'm just giving you a historical analysis of what happened in the classroom.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
Commentary.
Yeah, it's okay if you. Sorry, I'll just finish.
Make it quick if you can.
I'd be interested to see where exactly you're getting that from. If later you can tell me whatever.
Thomas Sowell inside the education system.
Bingo! There it is. Thomas. There it is. I'd be interested to know where you're getting that from. Really? Isn't it funny that people who often cite stats or statistics, stats and studies, when you call them out on where they got it from, well, it's this and that and the third. But as soon as you come out with something, well, I'd like to know where that is. I would like to know where that's from.
He has all of the sources listed in the back of the book.
Okay, because at least in modern day, do you think that any of that has flipped or no?
No, I think we've become, there was, to use a term, I was actually talking about this yesterday on a podcast. I thought it was pretty brilliant. Paul Joseph Watson, I love his YouTube stuff. And he started talking about hoflation, which is actually hilarious, which is saying that men used to have to do a lot less and get a very high value woman. He's like, so think about your grandparents and your grandmother. She was a high value woman. She raised the kids.
Jesus
she was
fucking
Christ.
Beautiful,
all these things. And now we live in this moment where everyone's kind of a hoe and you have to work harder to get a woman that doesn't have any self-respect.
That's right.
Value.
Thank you.
I just thought it was a really interesting video. It was obviously funny, but he was saying something. And we live in hoflation now, where everybody in their own capacity is selling their bodies. And unfortunately, these are the options that men have. Now, I'm not saying it's stunning to me that women talk about what men need to be and what men need to be, but I think just kind of the complete disintegration of when I look at what my grandmother looked like in pictures. She passed in 2013, and just how classy and how beautiful and how much I wanted to be like her. And now I look at women today, and I just think, man, I feel bad for guys. The pool's getting.
That's it, man. That's a wrap. Pixie ain't shit. Man, she ain't shit. She's not smart. All she does is rehearse these canned lines and blah, 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 blah.
Smaller, but also it's really positive for women that are conservative and who it means that you're a part of maybe a smaller pool of individuals. I see it a lot more in the South, and that men should aspire to pursue those women absolutely to raise their families and to raise their kids.
Do you co-sign on the hoflation theory?
I believe
absolutely.
The women today are very low value, and so it's funny because the simulation is like men ain't shit is kind of the thing everybody's saying. Don't need a man, and it's funny that someone brought up Beyonce because she's living the exact opposite of what she's singing. She's just making money because she knows how to make money in a hoflationary environment.
There it is. Whoa!
She's like, I'm just gonna pretend to be a hoe, but then actually privately I'm gonna be super.
Hold on. You wanted to come in, then you. Please, if you can, try to keep it brief.
I was just going to say that my version of sex education, my sex education was literally them showing us a birthing photo or video. Sorry.
Yeah, in 4th grade.
That terrified me, and I was like, actually, I don't think I'm gonna have sex for a long time. I think I'm good.
Go ahead.
And speaking of hoflation, I mean, we're always trending apparently, right? Because hoes. Because without us hoes, you wouldn't have like that many views to be watching, right? You have hoes come on the podcast to talk about our.
I'm not knocking hoes.
I'm saying you have hoes, and when I say you have hoes coming onto the podcast, you know you're a hoe.
Do you mean a literal hoe or like more of the colloquial?
That's Brian's dream.
You know what I mean?
You have hoes, Brian.
So you sit here and you want to bash sex workers, but we come on
did I
He did not bash sex workers. Oh, Orange Woman Bad is now in her feelings. Orange Woman Bad is now in her feelings, and you can see right there, Candace and Brian are right on top of it. Candace and Brian are right on top of it. Orange Woman Bad says, you wanna bash. Ain't nobody bashing sex workers. No, sir. No, you're bashing yourself, baby, because you know you ain't shit.
Anybody. I don't think anybody's
bashed.
He's bringing you on here and giving you a platform to speak. So I think that if he was going to be bashing you, he wouldn't even allow it.
Oh my God. Oh, dude. When an OnlyFans girl takes the side of the host, it's a wrap. That's it. It's over. That's it. Nice try. Nice fucking try. See, again, she tried that shaming language. You bring us on here, and the only reason why you have a platform is because you bring on these hoes. Okay, so what's your point? Well, you bring us on here to bash us. Well, even if that were the case, he gave you the opportunity, didn't you? You want to know who does that? It's Fresh and Fit. Myron brings these bitches on, and they just fucking dunk on them all night long. All the way to the tune of 1.5 million subscribers. Stop it.
The hero of hoes.
Wait, what do you mean making what?
Making a scene.
I'm not making anybody seem any sort of like.
No, I'm just talking about a video.
We're a trending topic, so it's relevant to speak on.
Because it's interesting.
Wait,
it's fascinating. I am fascinated by hoes. I'll say it. I'm absolutely fascinated by the way the hoe mind works, the way the hoe hive works. I'm fascinated. I cover it on my show. You are correct. It is trending. When Emma gets up and does a video and says something like, it's cheap to be divorced before you're 30, it is absolutely fascinating to see how someone's mind can be so warped. In the same way that I think it's fascinating when anybody does anything crazy or says anything crazy, and I cover it on my podcast. I am not knocking it off. I just tell people what the facts are. You can choose this lifestyle, and here is where you are 99.9% likely to lead in your life.
Bingo.
Probably not destined for marriage, or probably not destined for a
God!
And they're gonna not want this.
Damn!
You can say 1,000 cultural examples.
Oh my God!
Because they're talking money and about a Cardi B song.
Oh my God!
So yes, I think it is fascinating, and it is why I wanted to, this is why I talk about it on my podcast, and why I'm very interested to talk to you guys. I hope you guys feel that I've been respectful in listening to, your lifestyles, even though it's so different from mine. And so I appreciate Brian for hosting.
Well, thank you for coming, Candace. Let's see. I have.
Wow. Candace absolutely she just ended these bitches. She's like, I am fascinated by the hoe mind. I'm fascinated by the hoe hive. Unbelievable. Guys, if you want to get your hands on my 3 free ebooks, number 1, 16 ways to immediately disqualify her for a long-term relationship. Number 2, Dead Bedroom, the cure for a sexless relationship. And number 3, 14 questions she'll ask you on the first date and how to correctly respond. Go over to tsracademy.com, plug in your very best email, and these 3 rock-solid ebooks packed with life-changing information are yours absolutely free. They are packed. These aren't the kind of ebooks that just have a little bit of information. Nah, man, these are packed with information, like step-by-step type stuff. tsracademy.com. Let's continue.
A couple chats here, and then I have one more question, and then I think Candace will have to leave here in a moment. We have Yvonne. Oh, okay.
Modern Life Dating donated $199.
Oh, MLD! Love it! This is great. I didn't know MLD chimed in.
Hey, Candace. Thank you for being a voice of common sense and a good representation of being a decent woman in today's modern perverse time. What are your thoughts on the passport bro movement of men leaving America for better wives abroad?
Hey, John, thank you very much for the TTS.
Yes, sir. My man, John.
Brief little snippet on this. If you
Yes. Yeah, I think that you can find higher quality women in other places. Like, I married an Englishman. I think America.
Are you a passport? Not a bro.
Passport gal?
A passport sis?
Passport sis.
Passport gal?
Yeah, I think that America has really lowered the cultural standards for women more than any. You don't see this kind of, even the way women dress in America compared to England fascinates me. And so, yeah, I think find a wife, do what you gotta do. But also, don't discount the South, because there are so many good women in the South, in America. Come to Tennessee. They're wonderful.
I have heard.
How about that? How about that? It's interesting, man. She says come to the South. And I've never been an advocate of, well, you can go here and find quality women. But we're breaking down a dating show right now called The Ultimatum. And there are two women on that show who are young, beautiful, and want to get married. One of them appears to have a body count of just 1. We don't know this for sure. But this girl is 24 years old. She's young. She's fucking gorgeous. And she wants to get married. Yes, Roadblock85 says, come to the South and get you a Ryan. I'm trying to tell you. Secondhand truth doesn't bite. He says, nope, they just country hoes. They just country hoes. I don't know. I mean, she's out in Nashville. Everybody's out in Nashville. Everybody's out in Nashville, but yo, secondhand truth ain't trying to hear. He said, nope, they just country hoes.
Something kind of interesting on this is that you have a lot of men in the West, a lot of men in the U.S. going overseas to try to find perhaps a wife who's a bit more feminine, or whatever they're not finding here in the West. But you don't hear of men from other countries in droves coming to the U.S. to find a wife here.
Not only that, Brian, let me add to that. They tried to start this passport cis movement. They're getting shot down. They're getting curbed. Foreign men don't want American girls. Foreign men don't want these fat, entitled, tattooed American girls. They don't want y'all. Oh, well, if you guys are going to go overseas, then so are we. No, bitch. Like, they don't want you. That's the problem.
You don't really hear that. So, all right, we have Yvonne St. Simon. Candace, I know you're listening to these women with the realization that this country is doomed. How will you help your son navigate the swamp before you right now? And if we can just try to be...
I moved to the South as soon as I got pregnant the first time. I moved where my values aligned, and my son will be just fine.
Perfect. We have Goodest Boy. One of them is too young to remember the movie Pretty Woman. Imagine a guy just wanting a better life for the both of you, and maybe even a family. Again, the world is effed. Hey, Goodest Boy, thank you. Yvonne, Candace, do you think Lyndon B. Johnson has anything to do with the fact that these women that have an OnlyFans are actually able to find a relationship with men?
Really, Lyndon B. Johnson to
yeah, I was
OnlyFans account?
LBJ?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with anything with LBJ?
Of course.
Okay. Yvonne St. Simonis, Candace, what specific steps will you take to ensure that your daughter does not become one of the women sitting at the panel right now?
Oh my!
It would just be impossible in my household. We keep her away from this kind of secular living, keeping them away from tablets, not letting them be raised on Instagram and social media and TikTok, making sure that they have family values instilled in them.
Yo, Orange Girl Bad and the fucking Whale, they are feeling some type of way. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Yeah. Dude, women are not used to being talked to like this. They're just not. They are just not used to being talked to like this. They're just getting told, dude, look, I'm gonna tell you what, the red pill space, we're built a little different. We are built a little different. I don't want to say that Brian is red pilled per se, right? But I mean, he brings on a lot of red pill guys.
That they know what the cross represents, and that.
Oh, another dig! Oh my God, another dig by Owen. She took a dig at the fat girl. Watch.
Yeah, and TikTok, making sure that they have family values instilled in them, that they know what the cross represents, and that they're church-going children. And it's all about who you hang out with. You will become the average of the people you spend your most time with. And I appreciate the time here, but I would definitely say that I want my kids to be in a different climate.
All right, we have the Castman 777. Marriage must be a closed and permanent relationship between two people for the purpose of raising children. Without this definition, marriage just becomes dating with a contract. Sending your husband to a sex therapist for sex is just prostitution with a loophole. Hey, the Castman 777. Thank you very much for your comment there. Final question here before Candace has to take off. Would any of you date a trans person?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like if I say no, I'm going to get a lot of backlash.
Well,
but I think
be
my
honest,
personal preference, I would say no.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
Hell
Well,
no.
you're married. Me personally, I would not.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. Big surprise. The whale, the prostitute, and the pixie all said yes.
For your comment there. Final question here before Candace has to take off. Would any of you date a trans person?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like if I say no, I'm going to get a lot of backlash.
Well,
but I think my
be honest,
personal
be honest.
preference, I would say no.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
Hell
Well,
no.
you're married. Me personally, I would not. My question to you guys is: would any of you object to a man not wanting to date a transgender woman?
I think everybody has their own personal preferences, and if there's one thing you're allowed to be super picky on, it's who you date. Like,
Okay.
I think that's the only thing that you can 100% have free reign on. You can date who you decide.
Any?
I would completely agree with
Okay.
her. Like we talked about before, I think.
Yeah,
everyone
of course
should
you would.
have boundaries, and as long as that person's upfront and honest, and they can have like an adult conversation that isn't rooted in hatred, I don't think there's anything wrong with preferring.
Isn't rooted in hatred. Here we go. She had to bring in the shaming language. Dude, we don't... Look, man, I don't want to... Like, just because I prefer not to date a trans person doesn't mean that my preference is rooted in hatred. It's always shaming language with these hoes, man. It's crazy.
That isn't trans.
Okay. I have a question. So, and this has been like a thing that's gone viral on this podcast before, and it always seems to spark quite a debate. So, would you consider it to be gay for a man to date a trans woman?
Yes.
There you
For
go.
a man to date- No, personally.
Would he categorize
Jesus Christ. Here we should. No, personally, come on.
straight?
Probably, yeah. Because, what is it? Oh, sorry.
This is
Here,
too
Azania.
technical.
I mean,
like I just.
If you don't want to answer, that's
Like,
fine.
it's
Go ahead.
just-
If you don't want to answer, that's fine. Go ahead.
I'm with Pixie. I don't think that makes them
Wouldn't-
gay at
wouldn't-
all.
Oh my
SE?
God. So would you ever date, okay, that's fine, you agree with Pixie, but would you ever date a straight man who dated a trans woman?
Okay. Question. I mean, does your answer change based on the stage of transition? Like, what if this is before any transition has occurred at all, but the person has come to the realization that they are trans?
All right, I got to stop it right here because this is getting into this crazy territory. I don't like talking about this stuff. It's ridiculous. Wow. Wow. Solid episode. I'm glad. I'm very, very glad. Relieved, in fact, that Candace was only on for the first couple hours. I was afraid that she was on there for the full 4 hours, but I'm glad that she had to leave. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. And again, tomorrow I'll make the announcement in terms of what time tomorrow's sports podcast is going to be. It'll probably be I'm thinking the early afternoon sometime. To be myself, Jay Blaze, and Miami Jay. So looking forward to that. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Take care.